put up YouTube in a second. All right.
I have it on right now. YouTube.
There's always about a 30-second delay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Rothbard Network. I'm your host, Caleb, or K-Rock, and then this is my co-host, Luke the Pirate. I'm not sure what the distortion is like on this microphone, so I'll try to step back. And I haven't opened my beer yet. So right now, today, at least temporarily, I am by myself, as in there's nobody in that control room over there. So I'm doing all the technical stuff as well as the on-screen stuff, just for a bit until he gets back. But I just wanted to go to air right away. I don't like being late. I don't like saying I'm going to be on at 4 o'clock, and then I'm not on at 4 o'clock. What's that shit about? So, Luke the Pirate, how has your weekend been? We're here on another Monday.
Oh, fuck, it was brutal. I've just been mad busy filming at Mac and filming the volleyball games, and we had this Hack Your Community event that me and my other classmates had to film. So basically what they'd do is they had access to a whole bunch of data, and they had to come up with solutions to problems that are going on in the community. So they had a contest, and the winner who came up with the best idea would win money. So we had to film that. So that's basically what I've been doing all
1 sec, I gotta turn you up. I can barely hear you, so just bear with me here. La da 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 da, la da da. Rothbard Network. But I did hear you say something about volleyball. Oh, there's gonna be feedback in here. I know it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, okay. I think that might have done it. Maybe not though. It's hard to say. Yeah, we could have that feedback issue again up until the producer man gets here. Got to come up with a nickname for him as well. So the beer I'm drinking right now is it's a local BC beer. It's called Bakerville Brewing. Oh no, that's who brews it. It's the genuine. But the Hound Bakerville Brown Ale looks pretty brown to me. Should be good. I got a craving for some brown ale. So you were saying you're doing volleyball stuff and a bunch of fun college stuff with probably a bunch of fun college women, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's good. How was your Halloween? Did you dress up for Halloween?
Aye, that I did. I dressed up as a pirate, of course.
You can't be what you are in real life on Halloween. It doesn't work like that.
Well, it did work like that, and I rocked it.
That means you didn't dress up for Halloween. You were just yourself. Maybe a more extreme example of yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the sea pirates rather than the highway road pirate thing. Not road pirate as in a cop, road pirate as in he's actually a pirate who, pirates out transport trucks. We explained all this on the first show. I can't go over all this every single episode. You just have to go back and rewatch it. He's Luke the Pirate. And I'm K-Rock. But, so you were a pirate on Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I guess you partied hard.
Oh yeah, always.
Always.
And I got a lot of compliments about my costume, but my costume was actually my normal attire, so
Yeah,
that was
it was
cool.
just more. You were not that. See, you didn't dress up for Halloween then. That's what I'm taking away from this is that you didn't dress up for Halloween. I had to help a friend move on Halloween, during the day. So my day started pretty early. And it took a very long time. And they will let any idiot rent out a 26-foot U-Haul truck because I'm any idiot. And I can't believe I was on the road with that thing, driving around Vancouver, driving up the Squamish. It's ridiculous how they let anybody. And that kind of gets to the theme of today's show, too, which is mall roads. Because there's a whole... Sorry? Oh, yeah, you're just shaking your head at the road. Government roads.
I hate the roads.
I hate the roads. We have an article about the roads we can go over in a bit. But where I was with my Halloween, of course, was that was so that's what I did during the day. And, for my troubles, a friend gave me a bottle of wine. So I drank that bottle of wine while watching some South Park, the whole bottle. Then I went out to the bar where I did not meet any cool college or university chicks. But I did meet some white guy who thought he had white male privilege, and I'm pretty sure he's re-examining that now. Maybe not. It could have just been a useless night at a bar, drunkenly talking to somebody else, but I can definitely hear feedback or distortion in my voice. I guess you're part of the show. Oh, fuck! I gotta pull up this show. So unorganized today.
Here, want me to check it out? I have it up right now. I just need to turn
Yeah.
the volume.
Is there anybody talking? Doubtful. But
Cool college or university checks, but I did.
Yeah, and the volume's good.
Thought he had.
The volume's good too, so we're
yeah, it's
rocking.
not too
K-Rock's
distorted or
rocking.
anything. What's that?
I said volume's good, so K-Rock's rocking. There's no
K-Rock's
distortion.
rocking. It's probably too distorted, but I don't give a shit. You deal with it. That's just the hardcore. What's the word I'm looking for, Luke the Pirate? Not the.
I just think it's because we don't have state intervention.
Yeah, it's because there's not enough regulation going on in the show, and therefore it's just falling apart. It's too distorted. We're missing somebody. I got to get up and go and do the controls myself, then come back and sit down and pretend like nothing's wrong. The adapter just fell out of my laptop. I'm drinking out of a fucking mason jar. Because I just realized last minute I didn't have a cup for this beer, so I needed to. I was about to take an old plastic water bottle and just cut it in half. But I'm like, no, I'll just cut my teeth. I'll just cut my lips on the. I don't want it. That's too white trash. That's too. But fortunately, I did have mason jars. So actually, that's not bad. I think that's pretty good, even for a rustic, authentic BC beer. You drink it out of a mason jar. But my Halloween story is just going all over the place. So I'm having Halloween with this guy at a bar who's not dressed up either. He's not dressed up at all. And he tried to convince me several times that I had white male privilege, and every single time I just debunked every claim he had. He couldn't even define what it was. He would say, "Well, of course, that's your privilege talking." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Explain this to me. What is my privilege, and how do you know that I have it? If you have it too, shouldn't it be something like I don't know?" But fuck, I don't know what happened to him. Oh, that's right. So my Halloween story. So I had drank that bottle of wine. I had drank a few beers at this bar, but I didn't, I forgot about the dinner part because I got home from moving and I had this bottle of wine. I didn't have much food. I'd had a very late lunch earlier. So I was like, okay, well, that should be enough. It wasn't. After the bottle of wine and a few beers and talk and anarchy, although not ever using the A word.
No, that's taboo. You can't do that.
Yeah. I even didn't say the libertarian because after a while, so this kind of sounds like libertarian. I'm like, no. Don't care. I don't care about the non-aggression principle. This isn't like a moral theory I'm espousing. I'm just the common sense of anarchy, but I never called it that. So anyway, I puked in the bathroom. That's what happened at the bar. I know I don't usually puke at bars, but all of a sudden the drunk just hit me like blah. So I puked in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, if I've puked, I should be all right now. So I went back to the bar. I wasn't though. I can't remember if I kept drinking after that. I know at one point it was like, oh, head down on the bar. Like I've never been this. I feel like I'm 18 again. That's what that Halloween felt like, was that I was 18 again. So always eat your dinner before you go out drinking. And I made it home, but of course I don't remember how. But I just remember waking up fully clothed, and then the laces on my boots were cut. So for a few weeks now, I've had a big knot in the laces of my boots. So I have to It's real bitch to tie, and I keep avoiding it, even though I'm like, okay, I got to get rid of these laces. This knot is too big, it's too tight. I'm just gonna cut them and get new laces. But I keep avoiding that because I can just kind of tighten them up and make the knot even worse. So anyway, I guess getting home from the bar or whatever, I needed to take my shoes off, and I was so dry. I finally just cut them. So I woke up the next morning. Not only were there no shoelaces on my shoe, it was in the bathroom. I evidently did this in the bathroom. So that was, that's my night. That's how I spent the weekend spreading anarchy. I sacrificed my own health to give them the Rothbardian message without ever using Rothbard's name. Shame on me. We should. Oh, I was just thinking we should get a little grail of Rothbard here. That every morning or every start of the show we light the candles and we give like a little prayer or something. Let's cult this out as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like a shrine of Rothbard, and then his disciples like Hapa and all them. Oh man, that'd be funny. Mises can be like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Oh, we'll model it just after some cults.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh
great.
yeah, we should totally do that. Well,
Like 12 disciples.
the 12. Yeah. Be like AA, except for people who are recovering status. Oh, I can't believe I've been wrong all these years. The government school was actually a prison I was stuck in. Oh God. No, I've sent my own children there. Yeah, so for recovering status, we'll start an AA cult thing based around this show. So my daylight savings was also ruined on the weekend because I was so drunk and I passed out and I woke up, with the same clothes on I had the night before. I didn't get the advantage of, recognizing that extra hour of sleep the government gave to me.
Ooh, that was nice of them.
Well, I know. It's so nice of them to make my years shorter later on when I don't want it to be, and then make it longer on a weekend where I just happen to pass out and not notice the extra hour of sleep I got. And then, actually, because of the way technology is, my phone automatically updated, my computer automatically updated, everything automatically updated. I don't read newspapers, and I don't have many friends to tell me that, make sure to turn your clocks back. No, it just doesn't happen. Most of my friends are using those things too. They probably didn't recognize it was daylight savings either. So, shit, I was going somewhere with that other than I forgot about daylight savings. Oh yeah, I forgot about it until today when I was at work and there was a clock that hadn't been changed yet. It was like, oh my God, it's almost 1 o'clock. And then I was like, oh no, it's just coming up to noon. Okay, that makes sense. That also explains why I was so tired last night earlier than usual. Oh, it's all coming together, Luke. It's all coming together, Luke the Pirate.
Far out, bro.
So what did you do during the weekend to help spread anarchy? Did you do anything to spread anarchy? Are you living up to the Rothbardian name?
Well, most of the weekend I was filming, so... Well, it was for that Hack Your Community event at McMaster, and they're doing stuff with data and trying to come up with solutions with data.
Right, that's what you're saying. So you're filming that. That's interesting. Yeah. So
it was pretty cool. The people who came up with the best idea that won the prize money, my group was actually covering. They came up with this thing where, since a lot of people don't have access to internet, they wanted to create kind of like a search engine. It was kind of like a search engine. They would use Google, but instead of having to be connected to the internet, you could just text message like a question, and then they would send you a text message back with information on whatever you asked.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. They won the prize money and everything, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But other than that, it was filming volleyball, and then I was going out and partying like a pirate, and dancing and singing and doing all that good stuff.
Partying like a pirate.
Aye.
How was the volleyball girls volleyball?
No.
Oh, okay,
no,
I don't care about that. No, on to something new. Don't care. I'm sure it was a great volleyball game.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So I came up with some stuff to talk about for the show, other than the roads. I guess I should pull up that article as well. But I just, I was going to start off the show by saying, this is Rothbard Live, the place where the is-ought dichotomy ceases to exist. Because, Rothbard, whatever. I've been reading lately about philosophy and stuff, and I've never been too keen on the whole natural rights thing. It does kind of sound too, what if you don't believe natural rights? But I've been coming around to this empirical case for natural rights, which is kind of based on actual human action rather than design through philosophy, but actual human action throughout the ages. There have been plenty of times, even when there's a government, where people exist in a state of nature because for whatever reason the government kind of won't recognize them or won't give them the policing services or whatever they're paying government for. So they're back to this kind of state of nature. But really, you think about Britain, that's where it started. When the Romans pulled out of British Rome, they were left in this state of nature, and that's where you've got you always had a monarchy in the court system, but it's within the courts that lawyers and judges had a lot of freedom to arbitrate based on a resolution that would fix, that would solve the dispute that one or more, or two or more parties were having. So that's where the whole, the rights of the Englishmen came from, which is, kind of a natural anarchy, the customary tradition that evolved in the British common law. So that's the empirical case for natural rights. So that's what I was getting at when I say, of course, and then, Hoppa's got his argumentation ethics where libertarian ethical proposal is just falsified by just the mere reality of proposing it. So that's what I mean when Rothbard Live, the place where the is-ought dichotomy ceases to exist. But okay, so let's pull up that article. It's about time we finally get to the roads issue. It is the name of this episode, and we are, I don't know how much time we're into this, at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to find it when I need it. You should have already had it pulled up and ready to go. Okay, here we go.
You want me to? Okay.
Well, yeah, if you want to read some of it, there's probably multiple articles about this. I got a CTV one pulled up here. It says, it's a long past time that Canada's congested cities began putting a price on some of their most precious real estate, says the report from Eco-Fiscal Commission. Canada's what the fuck is that? Oh man, I hate.
Eco-Fiscal.
What's that?
Okay, so I'm going to look it up. Eco-Fiscal Commission.
Yeah, it's just something that we're not talking about. Anyway, roads. The government should not own roads. I think we can all agree about that. But what I think a lot of the libertarians disagree on is how important the road issue is. A lot of the libertarians say, oh no, we got to deal with central banks and war, and that's all good and fun. But the road issue, if we can have the general public realize that we don't need the government for roads, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a ripple effect. And they're like, wait a second, if we don't need them for roads, then maybe we don't need them for central banks or wars, and certainly immigration, because the roads situation solves the immigration issue. Because okay, maybe let a bunch of immigrants into Toronto. How are they going to get out of Toronto if all the roads are private and they haven't passed the criteria of the private road owners, where it's like, what, you came from this war-torn country, and I'm not too sure the government has done a good job at vetting you out. So it's also, it's who can live in your town depends on who can get to your town via the roads. So I think it really solves a lot of the immigration issues, a forced integration that is state immigration, but also, just those conservative communities that want to stay conservative, those kind of liberal, socialist communities that want to stay socialist. If we privatize the roads, then each community kind of decides its own thing, because it's hard to get to other spots without having access to the roads. Which is dangerous when I say privatize roads, because you don't want the government just handing off, crony capitalist contracts to, economic fascists, which is exactly what usually happens when they talk about privatization. Luke, go ahead.
So what would be the best way to implement that? So obviously, if instead of the government handing it off to, the cronies out there that will just, create the monopolies and shit like that, how would it be distributed among people? Would it be based on how many people are in those locations? Would they have little areas of it that would be assigned to each individual person, and then they could sell it to others, and that's how it would solidify? How would it happen?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have a great idea for a national campaign to localize, decentralize, and privatize the roads in Canada. I think that's how we'll do it, is because it will be, it has to be a national campaign, because I think people are afraid if you privatize roads, those are the veins of Canada, man, and you're blocking off the blood vessels, and the body won't be able to be one. So to quell those irrational fears, I would say a national campaign that makes all Canadians feel like we're doing this together, which is what we're doing, something very libertarian, because it's more than just privatizing, it's localizing and decentralizing. So to get to your question, I guess one way is giving ownership shares of the local road to the amount of taxes you have paid as a resident. So obviously the rich that have been paying a lot of property tax, a lot of money into this stupid system are going to have a lot more shares, where the people who do pay taxes but their income comes from the government, so it's just a big giant circle fuck. Those people should not have a say. Well, I would love to strip those people of the right to vote in general, but that just gets into a whole different situation. But so that's my thing is, giving kind of ownership shares. Also, homesteading. If you're out in a kind of rural community and there's 4 or 5 properties in the area, you guys can the 5 of you can get together and be like, all right, let's collectively, how much money do we need to fix that pothole, or let's get the road ready for Christmas or for the winter, or after winter. Oh, that road barely lasted the winter. What do we need? So.
And tolls and stuff like that would help, keep it up.
Yeah, and we live in an age where you can get some stupid barcode at the bottom of your car and like some scanner that's built in the road, and every time you drive by it scans it. And if there's a car that goes by that doesn't get scanned, somebody gets the company, the owner of the road gets alerted. Maybe I don't know how it would work, but markets, man, I can't predict this shit. But the owner would get alerted, and he'd let the law enforcement that he contracted out on a voluntary basis, they would enforce the laws that are in place that are by nature just negative right laws, because that getting back to that empirical case of natural rights, there is no positive right that spontaneously evolved. You don't have a right to give somebody anything, because then that doesn't solve peace. That's going to create more conflict down the road. And the whole point of laws is that there's already peace, and then there's conflict that prevents this peace from going. See, that's the thing. Everybody can agree on peace. That's the one thing that the dude I was drinking with on the weekend. Like that, you get people down just to core out their basic humanity. And of course, they're not violent. They're not. They don't want guns stuck in your face. They want peace. Everyone, it's like I guess not knowing economics or just general economics. You don't have to know everything. Fuck, I don't know everything. But just, the basic, Econ 101 that you read in Hazlitt and stuff. If you don't know that stuff, it's like not knowing math. Walking around the world not knowing math. And that is kind of a bad thing. I forget how to do long division. I remembered like 2 years ago, then all of a sudden I just remembered that I forget how to do long division. If you sat me down with a long division question and I tried to get it out on paper, I don't think I could do it. And our producer's back, so now we can switch between cameras. I think everything's looking good. I don't know. Show what the volume looks like. It's probably all distorted and shit. But no, Luke was checking. He said it's good. And I don't see anybody on the chat saying anything negative. I don't see anybody on the chat in general. But that's all good. Feel free to get on the chat.
We can't forget, we have a special guest today.
That's right. We also have a guest on later, Terry Wilson of the Canada Awareness Network, right? Not Canadian Awareness or Canada Awareness?
Canadian Awareness is kind of like where it's not going on anymore. He's got his own stuff now.
Oh, he's doing his own stuff. Well, he has his own channel, Terry Wilson channel. Look it up on YouTube. But no, yeah, he's cool. He's cool shit. And I know what some of you guys are probably saying. Oh, this is just a big circle jerk of Canadian activists just interviewing each other. Like, don't worry. We'll have more people eventually. It's just that, on Monday night, not a lot of people are around to do an interview. We're going to have this pre-recording some of these, and then I'll pop on live once in a while to answer your questions on the chat. But seeing that you have no questions, that doesn't seem to be an issue right now. But yeah, so Terry Wilson will be on later. We'll probably talk to him. He had a funny video come out talking about Halloween. Yeah. So I would love for this to be a Halloween. Last week should have been the Halloween episode. I don't want to be like the Simpsons and do a Halloween episode after the fact. But you dressing up in something other than a pirate and me dressing up just in general, and we can do it next year. We'll do a Halloween episode. But anyway, Terry's going to talk about his Halloween video where it's racist or culturally insensitive to dress up as I don't know, an Indian. Would a pirate count? Does that offend anybody dressing up as? Are you offended? I don't know. What about
Yeah,
a nurse? Are
I'm
you
definitely
offending?
offended.
If
I
you dress
was
up as a
offended by some
slutty
parts.
nurse, are you offending like nurses who work hard, or feminist nurses? You always offend somebody. No matter what you do, you're always offending somebody. So that's why a whole PC thing is thought police Orwellian, and that's why I go out of my way to offend people. It's it's kind of like when you put something under pressure for so long, then like when you finally let it go and it goes, kind of like the recession, right? They keep cutting interest rates and they keep trying to kick the can down the road, and what would have just been a mild, like quick recession, depression in the 70s got kicked down to like this. And I shouldn't say that because they had raised interest rates in the 80s, and it's the situation with gold and paper. But anyway, I guess instead of having recession in 2001 or 2007 or has it really been 2008? 2008 was the last one. Oh wow, we're definitely due for a new one. But yeah, that's what happened. It's just like cutting interest rates, causing an economic bubble that burst, and it's always bigger than it would have been if you just let it burst to begin with. The same way is my rage and my ability to be offensive and racist and homophobic and anything else I can get away with is any kind of white male privilege I have. I'm just going to exploit it and be, it's because like under pressure, under a statist PC thought police, I'm just going to like push back even more. That's what I'm saying. And I hope you join me in pushing back. I think South Park has had by far the best season in probably 10 years. It's really good. If you haven't checked out South Park, even if you don't usually check out South Park, check out this season. It's the bomb diggity. But that's enough free advertising for South Park, which doesn't need it. Same with this beer that I advertised. They ain't paying me, but you could. So we should get back to this article before I get on to more stuff I've got. So this Chris Ragan, McGill University econ professor, who's also heads this private co-fiscal think tank. Did you look that up yet? Is that up?
Yeah, I have it up right now.
What is this thing?
All right. What practical solutions? Eco-fiscal policies offer real incentives for investment in innovation technologies so that we can continue benefiting economically from our natural wealth while also providing better protection to the environment. The revenue granted from the eco-fiscal policies can generate further economic benefits, for example, by reducing income and payroll taxes or investing in new technologies or critical infrastructure.
Wow, that sounds like socialist gobbledygook. Just bullshit. But I'm going to read this quote here by this Chris Reagan guy, or Reagan. We've got a very scarce commodity called road space during peak times, and it's unpriced. That much is true. We don't price road access, and the cardinal rule in economics is if you have an unpriced resource, it gets overused. Yeah, it's a tragedy of the commons, right? Which is why we need private roads. It's hard to plan a whole show around one idea. That's all we really have to say about roads. Everything I've wanted to say about roads I already have, and it's been like 30 minutes. So let that always be a lesson to any viewer that whatever the title is and whatever the description is, there's way more that we're going to get into. But I feel like it's all going to come back to roads. We're all going to make it come back to roads somehow. Is there something about roads that you have to say, or about this article, or about this eco think tank?
Is there anything more I have to say about it?
Yeah, like what are your general thoughts about pricing roads?
Well, yeah, that's the best way when you privatize things, that's the way you get the best services. That's how you get the competition. That's how you drive down prices. That's how you create more innovation. Like everything about it, that's the market.
Maybe if you got rid of roads, nobody would want to pay for them, and we could have flying cars. I say that all the time, and I really do believe it. The whole toll thing might be such a pain in the ass that they just do flying cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the way to go. Okay, so we've got that issue solved for I don't see how that is still going to be an issue. You know what's going to happen with all the roads, though? Because you saw how much Justin Trudeau said he was going to plan on infrastructure spending. Mm-hmm. People don't understand what that means, infrastructure. He's going to rip up the roads and replace them with the exact same type of roads, just newer and nicer looking. But he's going to cause more congestion. That's what infrastructure spending is. It's just ripping up roads. Oh, I'm sure there's more to it, replacing the plumbing and all that stuff. But no, it's just, that's bonkers.
In this one article, it was talking about in 2 consecutive budgets, the Ontario Liberals have talked about high occupancy toll lanes, an approach that was implemented during the past summer's Pan Am Games and is expected to eventually to be applied more broadly. But during the 2014 provincial election, Premier Kathleen Wynne was asked about the road tolls and suggested that they would be unfair to drivers without alternatives.
Unfair to drivers without alternatives. You mean like they can't afford the toll road and they got no way to go around?
That's what I'm.
Yeah, she's such a stupid bitch. Or bastard. I don't know what these transgender types. I don't know what you call them. Like there's some university professor that didn't want to use he's or she's anymore. It was like this and zai and shit like that. Okay, what are the insults then? If Kathleen Wynne is it a bitch or a bastard? Is it a son of a? I guess that's the male version, a son of a bitch. The female would be just bitch. Well, what do you call a transgender? Bitch. I don't. There's got to be. We need new swear words now, thanks to these PC police. I got no time for swear words. I can barely keep up with the old swear words. I can't make up new ones. But, well, here's the thing. Ontario has a toll road, too. They have, what's it, 407? And
Correct.
It was built by the government. The government doesn't build anything. They took your money, and then they hired some construction company to build it. And then after that was all said and done, I think they privatized it. Then they handed out the contract to some crony capitalists. Like, oh, we don't really want it. So, which I suppose is marginally better, because that is annoying. That the fact that we give government taxes so they can give us our roads, and then they're like, you know what, that's not working out. So we're gonna need more money from you as you drive the car. It's like healthcare fees. I can see why people get pissed off at healthcare fees. I'm pissed off at healthcare fees too. If I'm going to be forced to live under a universal healthcare system, I don't want to pay fees when I go to the doctor or the hospital. That shit should already be covered under the money you steal from me every year, or every purchase that I make. So I can see why people would be opposed to government toll roads. I'm opposed to them too. But I am for actual private roads. That's why, once again, we need that national campaign. Maybe let's start a GoFundMe or some shit. A national campaign where we as Canadians can work together like the blood going through the veins of Canada and have a national campaign to privatize and decentralize and localize every single road in this country. So,
because we hate roads.
Sorry?
Because we have a deep-seated hatred for roads.
Yes, that's the only. Well, maybe, yeah. Like roads, people die on roads, man. That's what gets me. I love listening to people who are smart and they discuss something that the answer is like, oh, it's because of the government road. So the example I'm thinking of, people were talking about like insurance and with an accident that is nobody's fault, and they're trying to figure out how the insurance would cover it or something. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that is somebody's fault. It's the guy who owns the road. He's, if there's an accident, if there's a bear that pops out on a highway and I hit it, I kill the bear, it does a lot of damage to my car. It's just it's a big conflict. All of a sudden there's this conflict in society because my car's all damaged, this bear's dead, and probably got some environmentalist group on my ass. Can't take the bear home and make a rug out of it because of regulations, But the key here is, when people. So yeah, that I think that was the context of the conversation, and they were talking about the different insurance claims or what would happen and all that. I'm thinking to myself, that's the road owner's problem. That's his property, and maybe he's liable for that bear. What do you think, Luke the Pirate?
I just got a message from Terry. He's saying, at the bottom of that eco think tank, check out the video bar saying who's behind it. Old politicians like Preston Manning and Jean Charest.
Oh, so we got a Quebec Liberal. They're not corrupt. And and Preston Manning, who has gone senile. That guy is talking about carbon taxes and shit. The fact that the conservative movement still like says, "Woo, Preston Manning," is like, oh, that's how bad the conservative movement is in Canada. Is that one of the most highly prized conservatives is talking about carbon taxes and tolling government roads. I think Rothbard has something about that in For a New Liberty, where he talks about that's the whole problem with the conservatives, because they don't have that basis, that axiom that allows them to be, radically opposed to all the things the statists are doing. The conservatives, just by nature, kind of compromise and eventually just override their own philosophy. Because what's conservative now, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is pretty kind of liberal, right? And things that are like ultra conservative are now like considered racist and un-PC and white male privilege and all that. So, yeah, you want. Oh, I know. Oh man, where were we? Okay, yeah. So old politics. Thanks, Terry, for the heads up. We're gonna have you on the show soon. I suppose we can just call him now. He can come join us whenever. The more the merrier, right? Although that's going to take away at least one of our viewers. If we just start talking to our viewers, I might make for a popular show, but then no one will be watching. It will literally just be the three of us just talking with no one watching. There needs to be a separation of audience. Anyway, Terry is on the Skype, so whenever he's around, we'll give him a call. But yeah, nice catch on that. So Preston Manning and that's the problem with. Unless you switch to this camera. The way the camera was before. If you've noticed from the last two episodes, I'm not sitting behind this wall anymore. I'm sitting behind this wall, and I got Lucas right behind me, so I gotta turn up to him like that, as opposed to always being like that. But the key here is that if you're on this camera, and you're gonna see all the stuff that's going on in Skype, which is pretty funny. Terry, we're still calling him. So, So the other things I want to talk about today, we've got, oh man, my writing is so bad. So I know what time of day I'm writing. If it's really scratchy and small, it's been in the wee hours of the morning. Oh, this one was done earlier. Okay. Oh, wait, we already talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, well, we were talking about roads. Is there anything to wrap up on this road?
I'd like to, is it cool if I advertise for a certain page?
It's in a road-loving page.
It's called Mums Against Cars.
Moms Against Cars. Okay, well, yes, tell me about this. Now I'm just intrigued.
All right, they're awesome. I love their stuff. They always put out funny memes and stuff where basically they refer to cars as high-powered assault vehicles, and they basically you can't spell scare without car. Shit like that, stuff talking about how many people die from cars and how we need to ban cars and all this other stuff.
Once again, that's not cars, not the issue. The road is the issue. The unowned road. Because you're in an accident, you hit and kill somebody, you're going to be responsible. But also, the road owner isn't just going to walk away from this and be like, "Hey, man, don't worry." Where was he to ensure the safety of his property?
Woo! Terry.
Terry?
He's here.
I don't know. I'm getting a Terry Wilson. I don't know. Something's going on. Some kind of technical difficulty. But I'll just keep rambling and talking until it's all figured out, and then we'll ask Terry some questions about roads. Mm-hmm. So, what else about roads? So, remember? So, have you ever seen Office Space? Office Space. It's a pretty funny movie. But anyway, there's a scene in it, and it's been made into a meme. There's a scene in Office Space where the guy's pretty much getting interviewed for his own job, and he's like, "Well, I take the specs down to the customer, or I take the specs from the customers and give them to the engineers." And the people interviewing him are like, "So why don't the customers just take the specs to the engineers themselves?" And he's like, "Because I have people and I work well with people." And he starts freaking out because his job is irrelevant. He's just the middleman. There's no reason for it. So that's kind of what that was. So somebody made a meme from that scene in the movie's Office Space. Great movie if you haven't seen it. And it's that thing. It's that guy's the government. It's so if you don't physically build the road yourself, then who does? Well, yeah, this is the scene.
Well, then I just have to ask, why couldn't the customers just take them correctly, does it
Why
not
can't
work?
taxpayers just pay the construction companies?
I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why.
Because engineers are not good at dealing with
Construction
customers.
companies can't deal with customers.
You physically take the specs from
Physically
the
take my
customer.
money and give it to
Well-
construction companies, usually mob connected.
No, my
Especially if you're in
secretary
Quebec.
said that, or the tax. So then you must physically bring them to the software people. Well, no. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
government doesn't do anything but just funnel money in a very
What would you
wasteful
say?
way.
yeah.
they do here.
That amazes me too. Like it's just the
Well, look, I
base.
already
Well, we'll
told
finish
you.
this.
I deal with the goddamn customers
See,
so the
freaks out.
engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
What the hell is wrong? What the hell is wrong with you, anarchist? Can't you see that we can't have roads without government? Ah! That's it. That's what they're. That's basically their argument. That's the status argument. Is just getting red in the face and yelling like a 4-year-old. But I never did bring up the road issue with the guy I was talking to on the weekend. I think that might have been. It's too bad I didn't live up to my own advice of where we start with roads and the rest of everything just works itself out. But roads, I do think, is a primal issue, a real key here, because it does solve the
it's
immigration
normal.
issue. It solves a lot of issues. Solves this issue of having. Roads are especially stupid in Vancouver because all the environmentalists will oppose any kind of super multi-lane highway that will, destroy. I don't know what. What are they destroying with a multi-lane highway? Nothing. What they are destroying without it, though, they create this congested downtown where you can't fucking get anywhere, and it's always bumper-to-bumper traffic. And you know what that causes? Pollution! That causes everything that a super sped-up highway would get rid of. Because cars are moving, they're still polluting, but they're doing it at a lesser speed than just sitting there. Uh-oh, have I lost? Are you just playing around with the screen, or have I lost Luke?
No, I'm here, yo.
Oh, okay, he's still there. I just can't see you. If I can't see you, I just pretend like I've
Carrie
lost
too?
you.
Yeah,
And then I've
I'm
got
here,
no one to
guys. You
look
hear
at.
me?
I just got
Reserve.
nothing but cameras in front of me, and I don't know what to do. Oh man, where was I? I was on a rant about roads. Luke, do you remember where I was? I haven't even smoked weed yet, and I'm forgetting where I'm at. Well, that's not true. I've been smoking weed.
Oh
all
yeah,
day.
pollution. There'll be pollution because it'll be stagnant. There'll be bumper to bumper.
Oh yeah, Vancouver. So Vancouver is a shithole when it comes to the roads because the environmentalists don't understand that you're going to have less pollution with a streamlined highway system that just allows cars to go. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Instead, they're like, no, we hate highways. So we have a bunch of roads and a bunch of cars just going bumper to bumper. And that's causing so much more pollution. It's like they're just idling there going, I've walked faster than buses before. Going downtown like, should I get on the bus? No, it'll be faster the walk. Like that's bad. And it's not just rush hour. Rush hour is the worst, but it's like all times of day. And oh man, and it's the bridges are always caught. Like you can't get over to the north side without taking a bridge. And like one of the main bridges, like one of the major bridges, it's only got 3 lanes. So there's always a center lane that's either you're going to go north or south. And I'm sure that's not who decides the north and the south. I'm sure it's not, based on any rational standard. Like, it's rush hour. Let's make this as hard as possible. So, people leaving Vancouver, let's give them 1 lane. And people coming in, let's give them 2. The other thing, too. So, you're in Hamilton. Luke the Pirate here is in Hamilton. Terry's in Hamilton as well. That's what I like about Hamilton, Ontario, is all the lights are the fact that we have these Orwellian light bulbs to tell us when to stop and go is stupid, but the fact that they exist is they exist. If they're going to exist, the best is to streamline them as much as possible. So the Hamilton downtown is it's actually never congested the way Vancouver is, but it's almost never congested as long as you're going the perfect speed, which is like between 50 and 60 kilometers an hour, or 35 for our American friends. But that's the perfect speed you need to go to always hit a green light because the lights are always in sync with each other. You know what I'm talking about, Luke? You drive. No, you drive way too fucking fast, though. You probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about because you're always zooming to the next stoplight. But if you go a perfect speed, you can get all the way from one end to the other, all green lights. My grandfather and I used to do that all the time.
I
The
do know what you're
furthest we
talking about.
got
I
was
have,
like Queen
you know,
Street to Parkdale or some shit. That's a long way. You saying what? You're gonna say something?
No, I have, when the speed limit and I
Yeah,
have
because you
noticed
got about like $300 in tickets and your insurance is going up because you live in Ontario, home of fucking statist Kathleen Wynne. But anyway, what I was saying though is Hamilton's perfect for that. Vancouver is terrible. Not only do they stop highways from being built that would cut down on actual pollution, they are the lights are not synced up at all. And worse than that, they're synced up in like the opposite way. Like I've watched this so many times. Maybe I'll make a little video about it next time I see it. I'll pull up my camera. It'll be like red light, green light up there, red light down there, and then green, red, green. It's like the cars all move in chunks and they stop at every single stoplight. And it's the word. And you would think a city with so many goddamn bike lanes that they're so snobbish about how environmentally green they are and how conscious and sustainable. You think they'd have a better road system? Who gives a fuck about your bike? It's the road, the cars that are actually like spewing out the apparent pollution. So why not streamline a process where the roads Imagine if you never had to stop anywhere, no lights at all. We could build like walkways over the roads. So pedestrians never have to worry about getting hit. I worry about that every day, especially in this fucking city where, there's a big problem with, let me just say, what is it called? DWA. You figure what that stands for. DWA in Vancouver. So we have that problem. So I'm always afraid of getting hit. And it rains sometimes. So the roads are wet and you got cars sliding and shit. So I'm surprised I haven't been hit yet. I've seen people almost get hit. My very first time in this city, I saw somebody actually did get hit. Fortunately, the car stopped enough in time and she was a little shaken up, but then she kept running away. I don't know what the fuck she was running for, but obviously it was important enough not to look both ways across the street. And then another lady almost got hit by a bus once. The bus honked its horn. Like, Jesus. The amount of close calls I've seen never or even been a part of, sometimes almost been a part of, cars trying to turn and they stop, just as they see you. And actually the other day, like I said, they'll rent any fucking idiot a U-Haul truck. I almost did hit a bike because it was pouring down rain where I was and I was turning and this bicycle thought, he could squeeze by me as I turned. Like, I can't imagine what it must be like to be a transport truck. That must be like the most stressful job in the history of, driving jobs. But having a transport truck in a city area would just be terrible. Hey, we got Terry up there.
Going on.
Hey, I can hear you and I can see you. Sweet. Does that mean we've lost Lucas or we got them both? We lost Lucas. But now we have Terry, you're the new co-host. Terry the Tie Cat.
Perfect.
Oh, here we go. I think we got Lucas back. Well, it's coming back. Anyway, I was telling my story of, now I lost where I was. No, okay, yeah, almost getting hit in Vancouver and just how bad the driving is here. And, almost hitting, so this stupid bicycle thought he could kind of squeeze by me, and he did. Only because he was wearing like a reflecting vest. If it wasn't for that, I was in a big old stupid truck. It was pouring rain. I was making a turn, and this guy goes, shoo, and if it wasn't for that flashy reflecting light thing or his vest, I totally would have just kept turning. I wouldn't have seen him, and bam, he would have died. But fortunately, maybe unfortunately, he's still alive, whoever he was. And, fortunately for me, I didn't hit anybody. I did hit a thing, though, but it's okay. That damage is covered under the whatever you sign. I don't know. Anyone even read these things when they say, all right, so U-Haul, sign this, sign that. Yeah, all right, how much? $20? Sweet. Anyway, Terry, I'm ranting. How's it going? Tell me.
Good, man. You?
Good. How was your Halloween? Very politically correct, I hope?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course it had to be. No more.
Yeah.
Did any kids come to your house dressed as culturally insensitive in costumes? Did you turn them away? Did you say, I'm not going to give you candy because...
Nah, thankfully they didn't. I was really disappointed that I didn't have to turn any of them away.
Oh, so they preemptively didn't dress up.
Yeah, it was all just the generic, Iron Man, this and that. Non-offensive. Totally politically correct.
Oh, well, that's so good to hear. I'm so glad we live in a progressive society where, this stuff is, no, it's terrible. Do you wish you were a kid right now just so you could dress up as a culturally insensitive costume and then parade around and tell adults to go fuck themselves?
Absolutely, man. I can remember being a kid and doing that stuff all the time. Like, I remember stand out and be like, screw you.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting when the Blue Jays were kicked out of the playoffs there. Just, I don't watch baseball or know anything about it. I just know that made a lot of people disappointed, and that's always
I didn't
fun.
even know they were out.
When they got out, yeah. When they were in, it was annoying as fuck. People who didn't give a shit about baseball all of a sudden were the biggest fans.
Yo.
Hey, do we got Lucas back?
Woo.
We have Lucas back, but now I think we've lost Terry. There's that little red dot thing there. Make this a group video call. It's free. I don't know. I think we might just have to switch back and forth between you and Lucas and Terry. Lucas and Terry all night. In the meantime, though, well, since we have you up, Lucas, now maybe I'll talk to myself, seeing that things are going on the screen. Unless you've got anything more to say about this toll road issue here.
Not really. Is Terry, or fuck. Maybe it's because both the videos, like I'll turn off my video and we'll call Terry, and then so he can be on video.
Oh, yeah, maybe that would work. I think that's what happened last time when we had Dan Dix on the show. His was just a picture and yours was video. And, I've had that problem before, too, where if you try to do a group call, some of the cameras won't work, or it'll just, or you can't see the other person. So, I don't know. Skype is what it is.
Shit.
But yeah, so tons of stuff have happened all throughout the week, and there's more to talk about. Because there's stuff going in Ontario with teachers. Have you paid attention to any of that? No, neither have I. It's no. Oh, okay. Now this I gotta say. So this headline here is Guinness is changing their centuries-old recipe for vegans. And I know you're a vegetarian though, right? Not a vegan, not full-out vegan.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian. So I don't know. I don't know what is in Guinness beer that Oh, fish bladders. Oh, okay. They use fish bladders to filter its dark stout. Did you know that? I didn't know that. That's interesting. So somebody had a petition where over 1,000 people signed it. So yeah, Guinness will now make a beer, vegan-friendly beer. So I guess they're going to filter with something that's not fish bladder. So my question now is, one, have you had Guinness before? And two, no, never had Guinness. So you don't have to worry about drinking fish bladder. But two, did you realize it was filtered using? No, you didn't know that. Oh, my question is, as a vegetarian, would you drink Guinness that's been filtered by fish bladder? I don't know. I'm not a vegetarian, and I feel like I wouldn't even do that. Now that I know it's filtered through fish, who made that public? Don't ever do that. I like Guinness, but now it's like, fish bladder. So it's like a drink. Yeah, that is gross. That's a drink that's been filtered through the thing that allows fish to, defecate and pee, right? Well, it is not defecate, just bladder. I don't know. I don't know how the autonomy of a fish works. I'm obviously not. That's not my field of expertise. But I do have subjective value, and I value fish bladder. Beer filtered through fish bladder lesser than beer that hasn't been filtered through fish bladder.
Yeah.
Right.
Terry can't experience group video calling because
More fun looking at a pirate.
Because their device doesn't support it. Their device. Sorry, Terry, you've been kicked off the show because it doesn't. Oh, we'll get you on later. We'll give Luke a break, and we'll put you on. Unless you got places to go or shit to do, then don't worry about it. We do have an actual. Well, you are an actual guest, but we have another guest eventually coming on. Who he's into the occult. I just got to figure out a good time frame for him. But Luke, you know all about the occult.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
I do.
You
I do. I actually
yeah,
joined
you'll
the
love
court
this
at one
guy.
point.
He chatted up. I think this guy probably takes it pretty seriously, but he seems like he jokes around. I've read a lot of what he writes. He seems like he'd be a cool guy, so it should be a good conversation. That'll have to be a pre-recorded one though, because he's busy Monday nights, as in everybody else is. Everybody but you and I, Luke. What's so busy about Monday nights? Nothing. A bunch of lazy ass people. That's what's. Hey, what's else is so we already did the road issue. Okay, so remember, so all week there's been this petition going around. It's probably started by Ezra Levant because he has such a heterosexual heart-on for Stephen Harper that he started a petition to rename the Calgary International Airport the Stephen J. Harper Airport or whatever. But now there's a petition to rename Stephen Harper Calgary International Airport.
What?
Yeah, rename Stephen Harper, because why not? We live in a society without private property rights, so it only makes sense that the majority opinion can get a petition to make you change your name. So Stephen Harper his name is going to be changed to Calgary International Airport.
Nice.
And it's funny how we changed governments right after this, right before this study that came out that said Canada is like the most tolerant and freest next to Australia. It's like, oh, really? We just booted out the prime minister who apparently was making us all intolerant, but the study says otherwise. But it just goes to show you, it's like you said, it's just theft. It's partisan bullshit, but at the very core, it's just theft. Except for the Calgary International Airport thing. That sounds hilarious. So what else we got going on?
Oh well, I told Terry what we were going to talk about. Well, what we discussed last time when we thought about bringing him on was talk about how we can spread the concept of liberty.
Oh, yes, spreading anarchy. Yes, so I told you about my weekend. That was my strategy, was just to get drunk with random people and tell them that there is no such thing as white male privilege. What's your strategy? Please be better than that one, because mine isn't working out.
Well, infiltrate different cultures, right? So, like, what I want to do is I want to get into, like, different extreme sports type of thing, because those people are more inclined to take risks and, be more, basically have trust in themselves and to be able to do things. That's the kind of demographic that we need, in my opinion. People that are risk takers, people that aren't afraid, the what ifs, right?
Yeah, the people who understand that, risk and opportunity are two sides of the same coin, man.
Mm-hmm. And other than that, I was thinking about maybe music.
Yeah, music is a good place to get into. Anarchy music. I should have brought my guitar. I have a guitar. Why'd you go to the color bars? Is that why? So the producer came in here while you were talking, and he turned on the monitor. Now, I left off the monitor because I don't want to stare at myself all night because it's just weird. I'd rather just look at the cameras and, have a normal, conversation with the people. But now that he's turned on, I now know why he did that, because he keeps turning on the color bars. It was funny, haha, once. After that, it's just, people are like, why are there color bars? And then I'm yelling at this guy. You don't even know who I'm talking. Okay, that's a little different because I was a star wipe, but we should actually have graphics and stuff to transition to, not just color bars.
Yeah, well, did you see the one picture that I had about, it's called riot porn?
Riot porn?
Riot porn. Here, can I put it up on the screen?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, solid. It's, okay, here we go. I'll put it up right now. Share screens. All right, so that's my, yeah.
Riot porn.
Entertainment for radicals. Chris Hedges, I was wrong. No more donuts. Why thousands of cops are quitting. Ask a Greek how to make a better Molotov.
Dude,
and you got Bernie Sanders with a trumpet.
Are we letting get away with that? That's pretty risque. That's what is this? Riot porn? This isn't an actual real thing.
No, I think it's just satire for. I think it was left anarchists that made it. But well, no, it must not have been. Why would they put Bernie Sanders' face? It must have been made by ANCAPs.
I don't know. Unless there probably are radical leftists that are so radical they don't like Bernie Sanders. Anybody who runs for, just like how some really hardcore libertarian anarchists weren't in the Ron Paul. It's like, dude, you're missing the fucking point. It's not about trying to win. It's just getting the message out. Although with Bernie Sanders, it probably is about winning because he's just looking for state power. What do you think about this Bernie Sanders?
Did you?
I saw a meme that said, Bernie Sanders is just like Ron Paul, except his economic philosophy is different. And the response was, yeah, and I'm just like vegetarians, except I like to eat meat. That about sums up the similarities between Bernie Sanders and Ron Paul.
Have you seen the? I think it was the Mises Institute put it out. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it was about a yearbook that Walter Block had, and I guess it was like signed. I don't know if
they went to school together. Yeah.
Yeah, it was signed
Walter
by
Block,
Bernie. Yeah.
Block was even interviewed in a whole expose about Bernie Sanders. Somebody
Really?
did a whole like, who is Bernie Sanders? And they did like a long essay. It was like, pretty well written. And Walter Block was like his childhood friend who is on the complete opposite political spectrum of him.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I'll have to look that up for you. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders. So I got something to get off that subject for a second. I don't know what's up with. My head might go over the cup. Oh god. I don't know what's up with BC. That did not warrant barcode. The color bars. You can't see what he's doing, Lucas. You have like a 30-second delay, but you'll notice that the producers is fucking around. I think the show might have been better quality if we had just this one camera. Anyway, what's up with BC? I swear to God, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna piss on your drink. I know you probably got some juice or iced coffee in there. I'm gonna pee right into that thing. Anyway, I don't know what's up with BC and they're not putting beer in refrigerated areas. It's like, you walk into the beer store, of course it's government owned, or it's a cartel, or the LCBO is government owned, and at least everything's in the refrigerator. Like, maybe there's some fucking law against doing it, but like no BC store, well, almost none. There are some good locally independent ones, but then you got to pay twice as much. But if you go to that BC liquor store monopoly thing, they don't put their beer in a fridge. You have to buy it warm and then take it home. Like, the reason I'm buying it now is because I want to drink it, right? I might want to drink it on the walk home, okay? But so this beer is barely cold because I bought it like 2 hours before we went to air, and I put it in the fridge, and I like put a bunch of water next to it to keep it nice and insulated and cold, but it's still kind of lukewarm. So I don't think I can get the authentic taste of what this Hound Barkerville. Did I say Bakerville before? Because it definitely says Barkerville. Barkerville beer. Hey, that's a nice camera angle. Shows how fucking lazy I am. There we go. Yeah. I guess, yeah. So Luke, we gotta get a camera, like a webcam thing set up. So, because in the studio, you're up on a TV. Like, I talked to you on a TV.
Yeah.
If we had a webcam on top of that TV, and that's what you just saw out, that would be kind of funny. I think it's not ideal. Ideally, you'd want to see, just whatever's going out the program. But I think it'd just be funny, the fact that you're up on the TV, that your eyes are literally what that TV would be seeing, staring out. That doesn't make any sense, but, well, it makes a little sense. It makes sense
No,
to
I
me.
understand it.
So anyway, we've covered my beer. We've covered some news. We've covered a lot of stuff about roads.
We didn't ask Terry about how he thinks, what approach he would think would be great to spread the concept of anarchy.
Oh yeah, we should ask Terry that. Is Terry still around? Let's try this thing again. We might have to hang up on you in order to talk to Terry.
I'll just take off my camera.
Yeah, we tried that. Well, it says his device doesn't support group calling. His
Oh,
device
okay,
is
okay.
very conservative, not into the Skype calls between one man and one other man, or possibly a woman, but none of the group stuff. He's liberal enough. His Skype device, that is, whatever it is, it's liberal enough to be one person and one person, but not a group. That's just too kinky. See what I was doing there? That was a terrible joke. Scratch that joke. No more sexual innuendos. All right, we're not there yet. So, I heard that. Now you're getting the sound. You're getting the. Oh, That's the ringing sound. I thought you found the sound to the barcode or the color bars. It's one thing to put color bars up. Yeah, there they go. And it's quite another thing to just block me out with sound. Terry.
Hello, you there?
Whoa, we got both of you,
Nice.
I think. No, we've lost. Who have we lost? Is Terry there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, Terry's here. I can hear you. So I have to ask you about your idea about how to spread anarchy. Or
Well,
liberty.
I think
I guess
you guys-
liberty is the
I
best
think
way
you
to
guys
say that,
started
but you
covering
know what
it.
I mean.
Yeah, you just got to do what you do. If you're into music, do it through music. Make pictures. You can do it with photography. You can do it anything. Just whatever you're into. It's a way of life, right?
Mm-hmm. Perfect way to put it. So if you're, how do you bring it to what you do with your life?
Well, like I mean, one of my favorite hobbies is photography. So I'll try to work it into my photography somehow, or I'll play around with Photoshop and make memes or whatever, just anything like that.
Uh-huh.
I kind of wish I was more musical. I think music is a really good way to go.
Yeah, anything creative, anything that kind of gets to people's emotional intelligence. Because that's the one thing I'm always telling Lucas is that he wants to be rational. And I'm telling him, people aren't rational. A lot of people are fucking stupid. And they don't want to think these things through. But if you identify with people on a more emotional level, it's you might be more effective.
Exactly, and it just try to be like lead with example as well. You do little things that are, I guess you consider anarchist or whatever, just trying to trade and barter on your own, or like even growing your own gardens or anything like that, and lead by example. Show people the benefits of it. Instead of trying to preach at them all the time.
It's a cliche, but it's true that you can't change the world unless you want to change yourself. So unless you've taken the steps to better yourself and grow your own food or do whatever it is that you want to do, unless you're willing to change yourself and become better, how can you ever expect the world to change and other people to listen to you?
Exactly. Comedy is another good way. Like, if anybody's out there and they're into comedy, that's a perfect medium for trying to spread awareness about it.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I like you're right there. Stand-up comedians really are like philosophers of our age. Some of the smartest things I've heard in like mainstream culture comes from comedians who are usually making fun of mainstream culture. Like obvious like George Carlin back in his day or Richard Pryor. But recently you think Bill Hicks, some of Bill Hicks' stuff now sounds dated, but he was saying that in the early 90s. That's like unbelievable. He was
way
saying
ahead
those
of his time.
kinds of things without the internet, without any of that stuff. Doug Stanhope is another common. Bill Burr is a guy who's famous these days. He's pretty funny. He even talks about the Bilderberg Group. Imagine that. He fits Bilderberg into his act. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
It's a great
That's
joke.
pretty
She's something
incredible. I've
about
never
Hillary
listened to
trying to
him much. I've seen a
identify
few
with
videos
the
of
common
him.
man, but then she goes off to these meetings where wears a horse head and fucks people. Like she's got no resemblance to the common man. She's not a working class hero.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Comedy is like because especially with the whole anarchy thing, because to make someone laugh, like you have to surprise them. I think that's the kind of the basic mechanism that makes someone laugh is that they were just surprised, they weren't expecting it. But it also has to be true. You have to say something that's not true as in 2 + 2 = 4, but true as in like in the context of the joke, it was both surprising and true. That's what the punchline is. So if you can say something surprising and true in a joke about anarchy, something that maybe gives gives a good lesson about economics or something. I don't know. If I could do it, I'd be doing it right now, rather than just talking about it. But no, you're right on the ball, Terry. It's comedy. That's how to do it.
It is, and you guys were even talking about South Park earlier. This season has just been amazing the way they've done that.
Oh yeah, well like I said, probably I've been watching South Park literally since it came out, and my mom said I couldn't, and I would go over to friends and watch it, and this has got to be like the best season since 2007 maybe. I have to go back and like reassess every season again, but I don't remember seeing a season this good. Not that the other seasons are bad, but this one is just so good that I haven't seen anything like it in 10 years.
Yeah, that fat shaming one with Cartman. I mean, I laughed hard.
I love the Yelp review. The
Yeah.
the boogers and cum song. That's the other. There's so many musical There's so many musical numbers in this season. It's like every episode has a song. At the end of the season, they might release an album. Who knows? I would definitely buy that album or download it illegally.
Yeah, and I was even thinking about it the other day. Like Lucas and I were talking about it. Just the amount of topics they're covering in this season. Like they even went into gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible.
It is. And they do it all in little 20-minute segments each week. But and just there's a subtlety to South Park too, like just a lot of what they're getting at. Like in the very first episode of the season, where everybody's going PC and Kyle gets shamed for not being totally BC, which is like if you look at, I'm not even sure if they meant to do this. Maybe this is just reading too far into it. But the fact that Kyle is the Jew and he is the one that gets discriminated against in this PC Nazi world where everybody has to say that Kathleen what the fuck was her name? Not Kathleen. Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner is not a hero, and like everyone just shames him. So it's the Jew that gets targeted.
Yeah, I never even thought of
episode. And there's another one. I was thinking another one recently too. What was the last episode about? Oh fuck, was it? It was
fat shaming with Cartman.
Sorry, which one?
Fat shaming with Cartman. And,
oh yeah, right.
One kid has to like filter all of his social media for him.
Yeah, he's like, just take a look at my recent dick pic. People are loving it. There's more than 2 people on the internet, fat ass. But that's just the thing. You're creating the Safe Space song is there's been so many good musical numbers in the season, and that Safe Space that was in my head like last night and the day before, probably every night since I seen it.
Have you seen the video on YouTube? Some group that does parody videos. They made the South Park PC anthem.
Oh yeah, like they put music to it, or?
Yeah, they made a song out of it. It's wicked.
Oh, I definitely have to check that out. Like with PC Principal, all his lines and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got that song that woo woo woo, we are PC, woo woo woo.
Yeah.
Leslie, shake your fucking face.
That's the kind of stuff, the comedy stuff that will get people to look at it. Like you said, it's so subtle, but it's right on point, and it's funny as hell.
Oh yeah, Ian, you're right. Especially with all these, because I live in a kind of a university part of town, so there's social justice warriors everywhere. And if you have a good framework like the Austrian libertarian kind of anarchist framework, it's so easy to debate them because they don't really understand logic all that well. They're still in school, so. They haven't left school long enough to realize how the world works, so they're still, it's one big liberal arts college. So it's very easy to just kind of get them to define their terms, and then half the time they can't even define their terms. They've just been instilled with this white male privilege, idea for so long that they don't even actually think about the premise, which is stand on. But so talking to them it's easy enough to debunk. But if you need to tell them to go somewhere, or reason isn't working with them, South Park is the way to go. Like I was saying earlier in the show, there's the drunken conversation I had on Halloween. I told this guy about South Park. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's heard of South Park. He's seen it." I'm like, "No. You have to watch every episode in this season. It's that good, and it explains the kind of stupid Nazi brainwashing that's happening with the whole PC culture. And it is Nazi brainwashing. National socialism.
You called it perfectly earlier. It's totally Orwellian. It's people doing the job of the state, becoming off the...
Exactly. It's that
control.
kind of, the people doing the job of the state where they rat out on their neighbor, old Soviet Union. If you see something, say something. I see those signs in Vancouver, in any kind of public transit area. Maybe it's like this in Hamilton now, too, where it's like, if you see something, say something.
Oh, yeah, we've got little bits of it, not much yet.
But yeah, it's slowly creeping out there. I guess it starts with government institutions, the next thing you know. But no, that is like all the shaming, all this the stupid water restrictions. You can't water your lawn during a certain time, because of the drought, which half the time the state has created. Like droughts are pretty natural in climate. They happen. It rains sometimes, and other times it doesn't rain. Climate changes naturally. It's the government allocation of water that's causing all the shortages and causing the chaos, and misallocation towards wine farmers instead of small community gardens. People don't have to pay for their water. Yeah, sure, you pay like a utilities bill, but if you take a 50-minute shower versus a 10-minute shower, you don't have to pay for that extra water, not directly, and that's it's like the road issue. This comes back to the roads. But anyway, getting back to what you're saying is shaming. During the summer, instead of having a rational free market and water supply where people, if they wanted to water their gardens on the hottest day of the year, it was going to cost them twice as much than it normally would have. Instead of having some kind of system like that, we have a system where government says you cannot do this, and if you get caught doing it, then the citizens themselves will take pictures of you and shame you online.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the one thing that South Park episode never covered was that, yeah, it's pretty stupid to put pictures of yourself online and not expect trolls to troll you. It's the internet; they're crawling all over the place.
Well, it's
fucking
always
get their
been
own
that
TV
way
shows,
since
if you
the
know what I
beginning
mean.
of the internet. Always.
But the idea of being shamed on social media without having done anything, with it just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not even getting the full story. There's been plenty of people that have been shamed online, and it's for something that there was more to the story than what was presented.
Yep.
Well, like that guy who jacked up the price of that pill. Remember, that was all big news. The whole Reddit community was up in arms about that. Some easy, $1 produces or 5-cent easy pill to make.
Yeah.
He makes it like $1,000 or whatever. Like that's a problem of intellectual property rights.
Yeah.
Like the
exactly.
state doesn't enforce actual private property; it just enforces, intellectual property, which isn't even real.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm very curious with all of this shaming and everything, how it's going to go under the Liberal government now, because Trudeau's basically come out and said everything. But I'm a social justice warrior. I mean, that's who he's pandering to.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He
So,
called himself a feminist, for God's sakes. Any dude
Yeah.
calling himself a feminist. Like, come on, man.
Well, and I saw he even tried to call out Gamergate.
I know.
It was
Why
like a
is he
day
getting
after
involved
he
with
got
this
elected,
shit?
He's
This
trying
is...
to call out Gamergate.
I bet you, get to your question. It's going to be worse. We're going to have a prime minister who's inserting himself into these cultural battles. People thought that was going to stop with Harper going on about, he's Prime Minister PC principal. He's PC principal of Canada. He's PMPC.
Yeah, that's right.
He's also, I think he's Mick Jagger's son. That's something I've always held, and I'm coming out on the show admitting that. I want that to become a thing. Ezra Levent, get your ass on that if you're so goddamn unhappy about Justin Trudeau. Find out who his real father is. Just like the Americans wanted Obama's birth certificate. I want to see Justin's DNA test. I want to know if who his real father is.
To be Canadian birthers. There you
Yeah,
go.
we are Canadian birthers. It's Mick Jagger. Not that I'm that serious about it, because one, I don't really care. Two, well, you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'm right. Maybe I will just go on and take this seriously. Because look at pictures of Mick Jagger. Look at pictures of Justin Trudeau. You should bring that up on screen. And then look at pictures of Pierre Elliott Trudeau when he was a younger man. He was always an ugly fuck. He never looked like Justin. And Margaret Trudeau, she paddled around with the Rolling Stones and all those people back then. I wonder if I wonder if it works up. We should try to. So when was he born? In 1970? Or no, I guess it would have been earlier than that. He's like what, 40? So he's early 70s. I don't know. Whenever he was born, I bet. See if that time frame works out.
Yeah, see if it does.
I think it does. I think Justin Trudeau's father is really Mick Jagger.
You never know. Stranger things have happened, right?
That's true. Stranger things. Did you know I'm a black Jew? That's what I self-identify as.
You're a black Jew?
Yeah, you have
I
to
know.
you have to accept that, Terry, because that's what I self-identify as. Don't trigger me. Don't microaggress against me, because I'm clearly not a black man and I have no relation to Jewish culture other than my first name. But never mind that. And maybe my nose. I've been told I have a Jew nose.
Well, there you go. That's all that matters. As long as you feel comfortable with it, that's what counts, right?
That's right. Don't make me feel uncomfortable or I've been aggressed against. You're an oppressor. Never mind the real oppressors. So yeah, that's what's really going to happen with Justin Trudeau. We're going to have more oppression in the other realms of, society, but that's not going to be the main political focus. The main political focus will be all the cultural aggressions, all the, the social. We have a social justice warrior PM. He's PMPC, PCPM.
Yep.
And that's I think it's just going to get worse. It's going to be newsworthy. All this shit is now going to be newsworthy. So there you go. There's Mick Jagger. He's got nice hair. He's got somewhat of a bone structure. And there's Justin Trudeau, a mix between him and his mom. That must be his mom there, right? So there. Yeah, so she's a lovely looking lady. He's a good looking gentleman. Look, that picture there and there. Yeah, look at that. You don't see a resemblance there. We should separate and there. Look at that guy and look at that guy. I'm coming out say as a Canadian birther, Justin Trudeau or Pierre Elliott Trudeau is not Justin Trudeau's father. Mick Jagger is.
Yes.
Or Keith Richards. Or maybe it's some mixture of both. Maybe that slut of Margaret was, fucking them at the same time, like DVD-A. And both, the sperm got, both dicks, both Keith and Mick up there, and they're both going in there, and they come at the same time, because that's the way she likes it. And then they both, the semen and the sperm all get caught up together, and they both get inside the egg. So he's got two fathers, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger, and none of them is that ugly fuck. Look at that picture. That's probably the best picture right there to illustrate what I'm talking about. Here's a nice young Justin Trudeau with an old greasy man, old socialist man who hung around with communist sociopaths. They don't look a single thing like each other.
No, not really.
So,
There
yes,
you go.
you're
You
still
might
there,
be onto
Terry.
something.
Sorry about that whole graphic image of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards simultaneously gang banging Margaret Trudeau. But that's probably how it happened. I'm sure that's biologically possible, right? You come at the same. I'm not going to get into it again because I'm sure it's not biologically
I don't need
possible.
that vision again.
But I'm just saying, Mick Jagger looks a hell of a lot more like Justin Trudeau than Pierre Elliott does. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he does. Might be onto something. You never know.
Yeah, look at these two pictures here. So Justin in his boxing match, and then Mick Jagger down here. Yeah, you never know. I want a DNA test. That's
Push
all
for
I'm
it.
saying.
There we go. We fight back against Justin. Find out who his father is.
Yeah, find out. But that would help serve taking the debate away from actual real things.
Yeah.
But it does serve to be a fun debate. It would really just annoy the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what we can expect. Like our media here in this country. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they go for, right?
What kind of stuff? The stuff that we're talking about. The
silliness. Anything they can pick to talk about other than the real issues.
Oh yeah, that's why he's the PCPM, because he'll be talking about all these cultural microaggressions.
Yeah.
And that avoids the media having to talk about war.
Yep. Exactly. I haven't been paying too much attention to it yet, but I saw that he pulled out Canadian fighter jets out of somewhere. Did you see that?
Yeah, out of Syria. So I guess we were bombing ISIS, or were we bombing Assad? Or you know what? I don't really know anymore. But we were bombing somebody over there, and we're no longer bombing them, but we are involved in a humanitarian missions, which is the PC way of saying we're at war in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it's not like this guy is going to go up against a whole military industrial establishment. We're not pulling out of NATO. We're not, this isn't an isolationist foreign policy. This is just,
No.
superficial, stupid shit that make him look different from Harper for the first few months, and then everybody will forget.
Yeah, exactly. I found it so funny with his whole campaign. Lucas and I went and saw him at Mohawk College here like a week before the election. And his whole platform of real change. Real change. The Liberals have gone on that for like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The last election with, what's his name? McNatieff. That was change.
I know, I love.
And what's the change? We're going back to the same party that basically ran Canada for the last 40 years.
Yeah, I know. They were campaigning on change with like Chrétien and Martin and all these past figures. Like this is the old guard that we kicked out. We replaced them with Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's annoying. It's like it is the definition of insanity to do that same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. At least at one point, it looked like we were going to the NDP and some kind of change, but fortunately, we didn't. Not that it makes much of a difference anyway, but the NDP were campaigning on a balanced budget, which was kind of funny when you think about it. The Liberals were the ones that went further to the left in this election, and they won overwhelmingly.
It says a lot about Canada, and like talking about anarchy or liberty or anything like that. We've got our work cut out for us in this country.
Yeah, we got a long fucking road ahead. Let me sit at this desk for
At
the
least
next
in the
30
States,
years.
there's some kind of a framework. There is a movement of it here. It's so left. It's crazy.
I think a lot of it is because we're affluent. It's because we're rich, or we at least have the illusion of being rich. When people get poorer and the government can't do anything but just destroy more wealth and misallocate more resources, I think people will be more sympathetic to our ideas. It's like right now, it's like the more affluent you get, just the more socialist you get. Like the more, I guess my thing is what I was like I was saying to this guy at the bar I was drinking with. There's so many stupid government rules, like regulating that bar, that single institution that doesn't want to hurt its customers, and those customers don't want to get hurt. Other than excessively consuming a poison that kills brain cells. Other than that, there's an incentive there for both the consumers and the entrepreneurs to not engage in violent conflict with each other, but to actually provide goods and services. And I was saying to him that there's so many stupid regulations in place that are destroying innovation and entrepreneurship. And once that becomes apparent, once I think people realize that I can't make any money here because I keep having to, get these licenses or abide by this stupid bureaucrat who's never held a real job in his life. I think the more evident that becomes, the more sympathetic people get to our cause.
For sure, and it is happening quite a bit because it is so overregulated in almost every industry.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't do anything these days without being. You are a regulation yourself. You're born, you're given a birth certificate. You can't leave the country without a piece of paper called a passport.
Yep.
Like that you're the most regulated thing there is.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, it's crazy. Did you see here in Ontario with the whole ordeal? They're trying to privatize part of Hydro One.
I've been hearing about that, but not too much. It's not that I don't live in Ontario anymore. I feel I don't have to listen to their news anymore, which is very refreshing because that cunt of a premier is. I don't think I could handle that. I feel like an exile. I like Ontario. I'm from Ontario. I'm an upper Canadian. I got that history behind me, but I'm an exile because of that fucking cunt. But
Yeah,
no, so
crazy.
they're privatizing or their quasi crony capitalist contract out to a corporation, Hydro One.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to privatize. I think that something around 60% of it. But all of these analysts and all that are going crazy, talking about how the provincial government's going to lose money on the deal. They're going to lose money. Well, of course, they're selling off one of their assets.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be a
what's
long.
that going to do for the
I hate.
consumers? If it was actually free market, where there was competition and everything else, it's going to do good for the people and the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So who cares what it does to the state?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the weaker the state is, the freer we are. So I don't see what the problem here is. Just
Yeah,
lapdogs
but I think
for
we
the
both
state.
know it won't happen like that. It's not going to go to the free market. It will be crony capitalists.
Oh no, well, it can't go to the free market because hydro is different. You can't just store a bunch of excess electricity. There's a grid and it keeps going, and you've got to sell it. It produces, and you've got to distribute it right away. You can't store it like blah 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 blah, and all these technological impediments that could be overcome in a free market.
Yeah.
That in a
I
lot of
think
ways
if we had a free market in
Hydro
that
One,
field,
I'm sure, is
things
not
would be-
using the same technology they were using way back when they were founded. Even though they want to be consistent status, they really should.
Yep. I don't know. That energy is one of the things that really blows my mind when thinking about the free market. Is there's no reason why every house couldn't pretty much power itself right now. Between solar's not the greatest, but it is effective. Some small wind turbines. We don't even need this whole big grid system anymore. The way that technology is going.
Oh, I know
We
exactly.
could be totally independent.
We never really
Of course,
needed it
that's
to begin
regulated
with.
by
I
the
think it's just
state
a
and
part
all
of
that
that.
into it.
It's when it was developing. It developed in the era of statism, and I think governments just recognized how important it was to monopolize electricity.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
it never really had a chance for a free market.
No. Yeah.
But
These are the things you got to make jokes about to get people thinking about.
yeah.
I wish I had more skills like that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, well, yeah. Writing down comedy is such an unnatural act. It's very hard to forcibly be funny.
Yeah, it is.
But I was going to say something else about Hydro One. I don't remember it now. There is. Oh, right. Yeah. Because for a while now, excess electricity, the Ontario government has had to sell it to states or Quebec. Like they produce more than they need, and then they need to find a buyer for it. And I remember I was explaining this once to a coworker, one of the random jobs I had in the past. And that was with him, that was like a key awakening moment, I think, for how just inefficient the government is. I can really tell by the look on his face. Something went off in his head when I was explaining. Yeah, can you think of your business like that? First of all, you don't ever have to worry about bankruptcy. You don't have any competitors, and then you fuck up your business, and you have to sell off your excess. You have to pay people to buy your stuff. Like, how ridiculous is that? And something got through to him. I think he realized that the state operates on such a what's the word? I want to say lunatic, but is there another word to say lunatic in the sentence I'm saying? Anyway, the state is full of a bunch of lunatics. Their economic policy is lunacy. There we go, lunacy.
There it is.
But yeah, Terry, thanks for coming on. You've been on for a half hour now. You can keep going if you wanted, but I think Luke the Pirate might get a little jealous. He's all over the chat here. He's talking. He's should ask Dallas Gold. What is he going on about? Anyway.
All right, yeah, get him back on, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. Keep up the great work. Great video. Great confronting Justin Trudeau with interest rates.
Yo.
Yo, Luke the Pirate.
Arr.
Arr. So that is. Oh, I forgot to ask Terry actually that you going as a pirate for Halloween does not count as dressing up because you're already. I'm sure Terry would agree.
Fuck off! I want to be a pirate. Leave me alone.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like me going as a podcast host. That's what I was. I was an anarchist for Halloween. I went to a bar and I tried to convince people of anarchy. That's what I did for Halloween. That's what I do every day. Well, not every day. It'd get expensive going to a bar every day.
So, when you made there's kind of like I don't know how to call it. You got mixed up a little bit. You say first you referred to Kathleen. First you referred to Caitlyn Jenner as Kathleen
Bruce.
Wynne, and that's when it popped in my mind that we should really get in contact with Dallas Goldbug and see if they're actually the same person.
Dallas Goldbug. Why does that sound familiar? Why is Dallas? feel like there was a joke
Because
about
he's the
that
one
earlier.
he's the one who exposed that Dan Dix is actually an Iranian ambassador.
Oh, that's right, that guy. Well, listen, man, I know Dan Dix. He is an Iranian ambassador. It's the ears. It's all about the ears.
It's the ears.
Yeah, he's an undercover man. I know it. Oh, barcode, color bars.
Uh-oh.
That's like that's almost like the producer's signal now. It's like, change the topic. Change the topic. Don't talk about the Dan Dix spy agency. There's multiple Dan Dix too. There's not just one. You've ever seen Dan Dix in different cities? It's like actually a carbon clone that they've created. He never leaves. He's both in Toronto and Vancouver. Everyone's like, oh, he's moved out to Vancouver. No, there's still two of them, and he's It's truth, man. Press for the truth.
It must have been some Rockefeller underground test experiment where they just made clones.
Yep, that's exactly it. That's where they made Justin Trudeau too.
Ooh.
Yeah, right after. Yeah, they got Mick Jagger and Margaret Trudeau together, and then they made Justin Trudeau. He is like the Manchurian candidate. He is. Oh man, we should pull up a video of Justin Trudeau talking. So I hate this fuck. I didn't watch any campaign footage because I don't like politics in that way. I'd much rather just read about politics. If I'm gonna have to actually like deal with shit, I'd rather just read. I hate watching videos, and especially videos of politicians. So the other night, I did manage to get through a little bit of a Justin Trudeau, the acceptance speech, the night he won, became prime minister. I'm like, all right, I'll watch some of this. It was part of something else. It was a clip. And he makes this, was he doing this all throughout the campaign or is this something new? He makes this stupid face after he's done talking where it's like, da 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 da. And I'm not sure, you'll have a 30-second delay on that, but I'm pretty much just doing a duck face. Just, but it's such
he does that because it's just where he posted
but it looks so goddamn stupid on him. He looks like he's the Manchurian candidate. He's got something programmed that he's got to say, and then as soon as it's done, his brain shuts off, and it's like, yeah. So I'm hoping we'll pull up some footage. Any the acceptance speech or something. But as soon as we get that ready, we'll pull that up.
Whoa.
Remember this video, this one-on-one interview?
Remember when I had Sun TV and I was on your cable channel? Well, now I'm on the internet, just like this crazy fuck. No, I don't think this would work. This is him just having a conversation. We need to find him in a speech somewhere. Okay, maybe this. So let's look for this. So he's laughing. He's going to say something stupid.
That's a difficult one. You're not going to go... I shouldn't be answering this as long as I do because I'm a bit of a...
He's kind of joking around here. Got to get him serious on stuff. Maybe he's getting there.
I like the core integrity of Captain America. I like the ingenuity of Tony Stark. But ultimately...
that look there.
I think I might have to go with
but then when he's done talking, maybe. The problem is
Just
he's
to
doing
mix it up a
joking
bit,
things, so he keeps
because
smiling.
he wears
But when
his
he's
passion
serious,
to the
and then when he's
outside,
done talking
and
about something
he's
serious,
someone
he gives that
who,
stupid
who is,
duck-faced look. That look there, yeah.
green.
But
we
if we
need
find
a
it on
little
this
more
one, he's
green.
too happy in this one. We got to find
Thank you for your
one where he's
question.
giving a serious speech,
Did
and
you
right
see
after
the
he's done
ease
talking,
and
it's like
comfort in
duck-faced.
Trudeau there?
Maybe-
Have you ever seen Justin Trudeau give such a thoughtful, nuanced, well-informed answer about anything serious? Ever? About taxes or the oil sands or the Islamic State terrorists?
No, that's it for that. Well, don't ever play
One
the Rebel Media on the
there.
show
Did you
again.
see it? Trudeau said, well,
Competition, man. I'm trying to point out, remember how we were going on about conservatives earlier? How fucking spineless they are? How Preston Manning is talking about carbon taxes and he's behind government roads. He's behind government roads! Can't trust these people. I think we should infiltrate the conservative movement. Talking about infiltrating stuff that you like. I hate politics, but I love it. I don't think I'm a political animal, and maybe that's my calling. Maybe I should be infiltrating the Conservative Party now that Harper's gone, and they're like, we need a new leader. Maybe I'll make some phone calls. I'll start working my name in there, not to run, but just to influence who wins next. But I guess then I just end up compromising myself, right? You ever pay attention to any like inner politics of the Libertarian Party?
What, like the fighting and stuff?
Yeah, infighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the president of the Libertarian Party just stepped down. Oh wait,
yeah?
we got one more Trudeau video.
Okay.
No, not the leader, the president, on the board. Anyway, here's Trudeau. And he's just, once he's done talking, well, I guess this is a speech. So once the people start clapping. Anyway, he just gives this stupid duck face. I don't know. What the fuck is he talking about? Wait. Oh, it's Prime Minister designate. I was going to say, he's not Prime Minister until like the 4th or something.
In the coming days.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here in the National Press Theatre. I think it's important to underline the important role that the media fills in public
In getting me
discourse and
elected.
public life. And I look forward to continuing to engage with you all in the coming days, weeks, months, and years.
Yeah, that one he kind of grins or something. But his acceptance speech, the night he's talking and everyone's all like, he just kind of gives this look like, yep, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing.
Will you be putting on the table concrete promises for reduction in...
Is Elizabeth May his environment minister now thing? There was a petition for that. I don't know if he's gonna do that. Probably. I wouldn't put it past him.
Over the course
That's annoying. But isn't that so progressive, nonpartisan, allowing the leader of another party to be in your government? It's bullshit, Luke. It's all bullshit. Why can't I look away? It's like a train crash with bodies everywhere and on fire and children
How
are
exciting.
screaming and there's blood coming out. Did you hear about there was a real life Halloween display of a car flipped upside down and people bleeding and stuff that the police ordered the guy had to take it down because they were getting complaints. People were calling police thinking it was an actual car crash.
Really, hey?
Now that's a Halloween decoration. I want to see that. I would have liked to
sick,
see
yeah.
it.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you know they light off fireworks in Vancouver on Halloween? It's like it's a BC thing. It's a BC thing. And you don't understand. It's a BC thing. But they light up fireworks at Halloween. Fireworks going off all night. What the fuck is that about?
I don't know. Better
That's
than
all I
over
had to
here.
say
Over here,
about
they
that.
don't do
Just the
anything.
fuck. No, that's a BC thing. That's a BC. That's a West Coast thing. You wouldn't understand it. That's a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I've never witnessed that.
On Canada Day. Yeah, you do it on Canada Day too. I hope the audience can hear
do
the
on
producer
Canada Day.
yelling at me. Otherwise, I'm just yelling at myself. We ought to get you a microphone in there. Call you the voice of the shadow. The shadow.
Nice.
Anyway, Shadow is in there yelling at me about, what do you do in BC? When do you light off fireworks? I'm like, on Canada Day. Or like, what do you do in Ontario? When do you light off fireworks? On Canada Day, like the rest of the country. No, fucking Satanist. At least they're not doing it on Halloween. Satanist.
Satanist.
How long have you had bars on? Stop fucking with the bars. Oh, well. Can you believe that okay, first of all, I forgot to check if we're recording in 40 AP or 40.48 I. Or, can you look at the little black box there? Does it actually say 720? Are you? Oh, seriously? Luke, this is 720.
Is that not good? What's up with that?
The audio usually fucks up when it's. Hey, Terry's watching. Terry, is the audio fucked up like last week because we're in
it seems good, man.
720?
The audio seems good. I was just playing it. I'll play it again in a second.
Oh yeah,
See like
that's
a little
good.
black box there? Does it actually say 720? Are you? Oh,
Yeah, it's good, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have two shows now where the audio has been fucked up because that's just bad.
Yeah, no, it's much better.
No, last week though the audio was all skippity because
entire
it
time,
was a
yeah, I
higher
know.
resolution than it should have been. And we're in the like. No, yeah, Terry's saying no, it's good. Okay, that's good. But I got to remember to record in a lower resolution because you know our shit here. Bless you, God bless you, Lucas, and may the devil miss you. That's what my grandmother used to say. I suppose she still does.
Yeah.
But yeah, God bless you, and may the devil miss you. What are we supposed to say when somebody
this
coughs?
gentleman that-
Robotester?
Robitussin?
Yeah, I guess so. Robotest. This show is brought to you by pharmaceuticals. I saw that color bar. Terry says the audio was good, and we actually have more people watching now than we did last week. So, and I think it's the audio because I didn't even watch last week's episode. Sometimes I do, in my own egotistical thing. Also because you want to rewatch it. So you can see where all the fuck ups you do, and then you can not do them again. Go fuck yourself, Shadow. Stop putting the color bars up. So yeah, you watch yourself, critique yourself, see where you can do better. I didn't watch last week's episode. It was all like this. So over 50 people watched that. How did you sit through that whole thing? It's stupid. I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's
I don't
bad.
know. It's stupid. It reminds me of a joke. I got a bad habit of saying, I have a bad habit of saying a lot of stuff, but I say anyway a lot, change the subject anyway. But then once in a while I'll say, I don't know. But then I always become conscious of saying, I don't know. And I feel like, those really kind of insecure people that are always saying, I don't know, like, what do you think, Lucas? You want to go to McDonald's, Burger King? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They say I don't know after every goddamn sentence. So it's like, so once in a while I'll say, I don't know. But then I think about it like, I shouldn't say that because I do know. I know everything.
Ooh.
Yeah. Have you seen
Caleb
that
for
meme? It's Ayn
Chancellor.
Rand. It says A equals gay. You obviously don't find that as funny as I do. I think it's hilarious. Because, A is A. Ayn Rand is always A is A. Well, it's just A is gay.
Fuck you. No way. Fuck you. It's not A and not A at the same time. It doesn't.
Sure.
Oh my fucking
I
God.
could hold those ideas in my head.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Because they're not physical objects. Sure, you have like neurons and things firing back and forth, but that doesn't make the map that's in your mind the actual physical objects, and it's not the same thing. It's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
get what you mean.
representation.
But
It's a map of of what's going on out there, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe that. We always seem to get into an objectivist quantum physics debate around this time of the show. It's like, it's that time. We've exhausted politics. Time to get into science that neither of us are really too sure about, but we're going to do our best anyway. No, maybe we should leave that for next show because you did send me that objectivist kind of the role of consciousness, and I didn't get a chance to read that yet, but I do want to read it, and we'll also have. Once I schedule it, we'll have a guest on who's into the occult and stuff, and he knows all about it. Well, he doesn't know all about it, but he's got some interesting theories about materialism. So then the three of us, I'm sure, will have a gay old conversation. Gay as in A equals gay.
Fuck you.
There should be a law against that. Yeah, I don't agree. That's very oppressive. That's microaggression. I don't like what you're doing there,
Microaggression,
Caleb.
I just mean gay as in happy.
Well,
A as in happy. You can't
may
be
have
happy
some
and not happy
valuables
at the
that I
same
want to
time,
pirate.
man.
Watch your valuables, Caleb. I'm a pirate.
Yeah. Well, you're a pirate 3,000 kilometers away, so come at me, bro.
I have a boat, Caleb. I have a boat.
It's all land. Good luck finding that Northwest Passage. I'm sure you're not the first guy to fail.
Don't tempt a pirate.
Yeah. Well, don't tempt a crazy anarchist that drinks and smokes on the air. Speaking of which, I haven't smoked yet. I've got this whole episode of that smoking.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying, I'm an angry, drug-infused... You don't fuck with me. That's all. That's all I'm saying is... I got a gun. Oh, fuck, where's my gun? Oh, man, I was not ready for today's show. My
I know, I was
set
gonna
is
ask about that.
lacking. I didn't even turn the table back to where it was. I got to look at you like this. But actually, I kind of like the table this way. What do you think about having it like this from now on?
Works good. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't care either way, but I do because I put a little table here. Well, the table was already here, but now I just noticed I can put my feet on that. I also put my feet on here. I put one foot on the table, one foot on this little table, And then I'm quite content. I can just sit here all night and chat with you, Luke the Pirate. You're listening to Rothbard Network, and we're chatting with Luke the Pirate. We were talking about roads. If you're tuning in now, wondering why this is titled Mall Roads and we're not talking about roads, it's because we already talked about that. This is a long show, and the road conversation only lasted like 40 minutes.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be engulfed in eternal hatred.
What? Sorry, what?
I said talking about roads engulfs us with eternal hatred.
Yeah, well, it does with you. You got a real issue with roads. I happen to like roads. Well, no, not as much as I like no roads or private roads. But I'm thinking, well, yeah. So yeah, to sum up our road thing was that, of course, private ownership is superior to common ownership, and that the roads, privatizing roads, would solve the immigration issue. Okay, so I'll give you talking about Ezra. Let's tie Ezra Levant back into roads. Ezra Levant, I follow him on Facebook, and once he posted something about how there was some accident or something, so the RCMP shut down a highway near Calgary, and they rerouted traffic that went through a native reserve. So the native reserve saw all these white people coming through. Oh, hey, they got white male privilege. Let's get some money out of them. I'm not sure if they actually thought the white male privilege. They just saw people that were like, hey, let's get some fucking money out of this. So they set up their own toll road on the reserve that people had to pay because the RCMP had rerouted traffic into the reserve. So Ezra Levant was complaining about this. He had something. He was talking about how unjust this is or whatever. Those fucking natives or whatever. Or those fucking Indians. I don't know. He's more PC than I am. He probably called them Aboriginal Canadians. Anyway, the point is, because his posts usually get, I don't know, like 150 comments or 150 likes. Or, a lot of people will comment and say something. And if you're later on in the game, your comment is just kind of lost to the whole stream of just stupidity that comes out of a lot of people on Facebook. But I saw this post as soon as he had posted it. So I was the first person. I was one of the first people to comment. So I said, privatize roads, easy solution. And here I was thinking conservatives would agree with me that private ownership is superior to socialism. But nope. They all fucking freaked out on me. I had if there was a dislike button on Facebook, I probably would have got a lot of dislikes. But I had somebody comment that was like the most socialist thing I've ever heard. It was something about the Canadian unity and the roads keep us connected. And then I think he threw something in there about the vets and the troops. Like, I swear to God, he said, I wish I had it, but it's been lost to the ether. But the point being is that conservatives in Canada are pretty socialist, and it's pretty evident with the roads, which Preston Manning is behind. That's the lesson from today's show is Preston Manning is behind the government roads. He's not actually. He's behind the organization that's saying that we need toll roads in government. But oh man, we haven't taken a break yet, Luke. We usually have a beef heart break by now.
Yeah, where the hell's beef heart?
Yeah, let's do a beef heart break while I smoke a pipe.
Nice.
And well, it's gonna take a while to cue that up. So before we go to the beef heart break, you with the color bars. You can just focus on me until you've queued up beef heart. You don't need to go to color bars. All right. But you should put. I was listening to Trout Mask Replica earlier, so it might still be up there somewhere. There we go. Moonlight on Vermont. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
Lost his head and got off on alligators. Somebody's leaving peanuts on the cabins for a
That looks like it's making fun of
elephant. Escape from zoo with love. Goes to show what a moon can do. Moonlight on Vermont. Well, it did it for life, boy, and it did it to you, and it did it to Zoo, and it can
all right. Well,
do it for me, and it can do it for you. Moonlight It's good enough for me. It's good enough for you. Well, come out to show them. 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 Get that old time religion. Give me that old time religion. Give me that old time religion. It's good enough for me. Without your new affliction, don't need your new restriction. Give me that old time religion. It's good enough for me. Moonlight on Vermont. A squid eating dough in a polyethylene bag is fast and bulbous. Got me? To the ground. Tattoos and tarnish utensils.
What is that?
A snow white bag full of tunes. Drives a cartoon around. Drives a cartoon around. Broma sells a blue umbrella. Keeps her up off the ground. Round red sombreros. Wrap her high-top horse's shoes. When she unfolds her umbrella,
yeah. That's what I was going to
Chupo's
mention.
got the blues. Her loving make me so
Have
happy.
those with that
If I
button.
smile, I crack my cheek.
I took a road here.
Her eyes
That
are
was
so
becoming the
peaceful.
road.
Thinks it's heaven.
Every day. to
Her
work,
skin is as smooth as a
I
daisy.
walk across
in the center where the
trail
sun
that is not
shines.
made by government. There's a sidewalk
Smiles
that
as sweet as honey.
you can make big
Her
hell.
teeth as
They
clean
cut
as the
across
coals where the
on the
bees
trail that's
go.
been made by people not wanting to take the
When she
fucking
walks, flowers surround her.
government.
Let
It's,
their
it's a
nectar
sidewalk.
come into the
Sidewalk.
air
It still counts as a
around
road.
her. She
People don't want to take it.
her
They'd
love
rather
sticks out like
walk through the dirt.
stars. Her loving stick out like
Prove that
stars.
you're for the state is thinking. Who is that supposed to be? Yeah, maybe, yeah, I suppose. It's more like that show, Breaking Bad. That's funny. 3 terms. Might get, or no, I guess we've had 3 terms already. Senior Bush. You got a Jeb. Imagine we actually Jeb Bush. Hillary Clinton. Kind of push as hell. There'd be a revolution in that country, man. People are gonna go for that shit. Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton. Those are the only 2 options. People will fucking go insane. But they need one. Maybe they'll just make Obama. Maybe they'll allow him to get the 3rd term. I like the song. I like the beat. The drum beat in the song. Oh, it's over. Well, just as soon as I noticed the drums, it's over. Well, we're back. Milton Friedman, socialist. He is a socialist. He never wanted to stop looking at money as a nationalized thing. He just, it's all good. The way we've been central planning money, it's still working for us. So, never mind the market, alternatives. So I brought up some news during the commercial break. And did you know, Luke, the pirate, that in a 6-month period, 70% of detached homes sold in Vancouver, west side with the mainland China buyers? I feel like I'm about to sneeze, but it's not coming out. But anyway, yeah. So a bunch of new mainland China is buying up Vancouver. Crazy. That's all. You got no comment. All right, I got no comment either. Let's go to the next. What?
I finally found out what your DWA meant.
DWA, yeah. So that's a problem in Vancouver. And why don't you tell the audience what that is, Luke? See, if I say that's the problem, no, don't go to the bars. If Luke says what it is, and then I just say it's a problem, I'm not saying that it's a problem. He is, because he's the one who spelt it out.
So basically, we hired a bunch of experts, and they went into the history of DWA. We had a lot of decoding to do, and it turns out that it actually means driving while Asian.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, well, you know what? I want to know if it's true that because their eyes are the slit, they don't have as well peripherals as white people. I've heard that. I've also heard that's not true. But I've also heard that. Stop going. Listen, I know this is not PC. Trudeau will be putting me in jail by the end of these 4 years. We're only on the 3rd episode, and I've already alienated 70% of Vancouver. But
I've been there before. It was pretty. Yeah, I was like, holy cow! I've never witnessed anything like that. Like, holy cow, man!
What? Witness what?
When I went to Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
It is an old British city that's been converted into some hybrid China North America sort of thing. I'm not saying it's good or bad either way. I'm saying that state immigration is ineffective and costly. It's essentially forced integration of the actual property owners that were in Vancouver before all Asian immigrants came in. So. Mm-hmm. And it's not like Canada has a culture to assimilate to, nor should we. But there is a Western tradition, but that's been mostly forgotten and abandoned. So, what are they supposed to assimilate to? Statism? Don't do that. Stay with your old culture. I'm cool with that. Just don't fucking, become a statist. But no, it's just an issue of property rights, which is why when we fix the roads, it fixes the immigration problem. Yeah, you can bring in. You see, okay, if the government owned, their immigration centers. I don't know. I guess the immigrants come in and they're at these facilities and they got to get approved and they're going through the paperwork and all that. If all the roads around this building are privately owned, you're going to have to get approval of those private property owners, to get on that road, and then to get beyond those roads on other property and to be hired by people. You just have to provide value. You don't have to be of any kind of race or religion or culture or whatever. You just have to be able to provide value for people through voluntary means, and that's what the state is not doing.
Exactly.
So we can't expect immigration central planning to work any more than monetary central planning or healthcare central planning. So that's why I don't understand. People talk about open borders. We need open borders everywhere. Like with the welfare state and everything. No, that sounds like a terrible idea. That's not logically consistent. You don't. Jeff.
Private property first, and then you get into that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, yeah.
Which is why, if the border issue for you is such a big issue, if immigration is such a big issue that you want to get to it right away before you get to the wars and the central bank, get the roads. Roads solves your issue. Roads is like an all-encompassing issue. And then once we figure that out, we'll be like, oh, we don't need them for anything else. That's the dogma I'm going with. But where were we going with that, Luke? Other than the DWAs, I think we've exhausted that. I don't think we want to touch around that conversation.
Oh, we're talking about centrally planning everything, and how we're talking about immigration stuff, and yeah. So before we're talking about driving while
Asian. Can you imagine? It's PC. It's now a PC thing that some of the roads you have to drive on the left side. It's just we're being multicultural. It's stop microaggressing against my belief that in my country where I'm from, we drive on the left side of the road. So, like a whole fucking system that's part of Justin's infrastructure spending is, all this reinvestment in the roads. So arbitrarily they can just switch sides and then all of a sudden you're on the other side. And it's ordered to be PC to, the people coming from other parts of the country that drive on the left side. We wouldn't want to fuck up the Australians. They're white for God's sakes. So, we want to make sure. The joke is white Australians, higher valued by the government than, that's the joke. I'm not sure if anyone got it.
No,
yeah, color bars. Wah, wah. But did you know money is flooding out of Canada at the fastest pace in the developed world? True story. I read it just now.
Was it due to what?
It's just the nation's decade-long oil boom. Never mind. That's a boring story.
All right.
No, here we go. Ontario child bites into chocolate bar from the Halloween haul, discovers razor blade hidden inside candy. Do you think the police did this? Do you think this is an inside job, Lucas? Because they're always fucking telling us about this. They're warning us about anarchists killing cops on Halloween. None of it ever happens. There's no justification for them. Yeah. So do you think this was on purpose? Do you think they, this is an inside job?
Totally. All the pieces fit together. If you don't, you're an idiot.
Yeah, obviously, the candy pieces.
Be a sheep.
It was Kit Kat, so they come in 2 pieces.
What does that tell you?
That's probably how they got the razor blade in there. They cut it into 2 pieces. They put it, I don't know. I'm not claiming to know how that happened. I'm thinking I can find out who this kid was, and I want to know if his dad is a cop. And I want to know if this is just a hoax story. Why? There's hoaxes all the time. Just because the National Post is reporting on it doesn't mean it happened. Finally, a horror story on Halloween happened. There was a kid, and it was a Kit Kat bar too. It came in a wrapper. So maybe, there goes the idea, you can't hand out apples because they'll put poison on the apples. Well, if they're real serious about poisoning stuff, they'll find a way to do it in a plastic sealed container to make you, even less suspicious.
Yep.
But you have anything else to say about that, Luke?
About the candy?
The candy, the razor and the Halloween candy?
Well, it's the same thing that I'm always going to go back to, that we need central planning, that we need, regulations and all that other stuff, because it's way too wild out there. It's, nature's like,
yeah,
the market's like a jungle.
It is a jungle. Halloween, you got children dressing up so nobody can identify each other, and they're all going out there on their own. There's no regulation about what houses are sending out candy. Like, there's going to be a lot of candy that's, a supply of candy that is not going to be wanted. So there's just this, excess supply that's just left over days and weeks after Halloween. And we need more market regulation in our government regulations in candy, in Halloween. Halloween as a day. I totally agree, Lucas.
And I also think that there's a lot of, inequality based on how much people get candy. Like, I think we should just have a fixed amount that each family has to pay for candy, and we distribute it fairly.
That's the other thing too. Some kids are going to want to walk more than others. There's a lot of kids who are lazy, especially the fat ones that play video games all the time. So
whoa. Let's
not right, you're right. I'm fat shaming.
Don't go there.
Okay. But there are some lazy kids out there, and they're not wanted, they've got to
they're not going to walk as much as the kids that are going to walk, and the kids that are going to walk more are going to get more candy. So there's going to be an inequality with candy distribution because some kids walk more than others. Now, some say it's because they're working harder, they're more productive, but no. It's because of some inherent triggered. So we need to equalize the candy distribution. Yeah. So the fat, lazy kids, I mean, the physically challenged, health identified, I don't know how to, I can't even pretend to be PC. I don't even know what PC people would call a fat person, a nicely obese child who doesn't walk more, won't get as much candy. So we need the government to step in to redistribute.
The well-rounded.
The what kids?
The well-rounded.
Well-rounded. There we go. What a well-rounded way to sum that up. Well-rounded kids.
See, they're not, they're good at other stuff. It's
Exactly. They're good at other stuff. So it will equalize towards the end. Someday Halloween will just be an app that you can download. And it's like, kid. And it comes to your door. And the only thing is that the app only works on Halloween.
Oh, I miss Halloween. That was my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, it's too bad you didn't dress up.
Yeah, I know. That's because I was busy all day and
busy all day, looting transport trucks out on the highway.
It's a hard job, but someone's got to do it.
That's right. But
I'm gonna throw up a picture here. It kind of relates to what we were talking about way before, but okay.
Modern. She just sprays it, then runs into it. Yep, that's about it. Projecting all their problems on the men and then saying, like, men are the problem and needing that external validation from men that they are the problem. See, that's it. That's the kind of comedy that, this whole thing needs. It's easy with social justice warriors because they're so stupid. But what can we show that make the state just as funnier? Like, there's the whole bombarder thing. It got a bailout, right? Everyone needs... Sure, there's a joke in there somewhere. Bombarder sounds like other things that, could be sexually oriented. So you just take some sexual terms and combine them with bombarder and then things that governments do, like, fisting instead of fiscal. That kind of sounds the same. So that's how you come up with jokes. You just got to have the discipline to think it through. That's it. There's your lesson for the day. But you got any more funny memes while I look at any other news that might be happening?
Oh yeah, I have tons of funny memes, man. Like tons. Here, I'll go back to the here. Okay, so I'll bring it up. I'll go to my economic one. Okay, share screens. Okay, so we got the Milton Friedman socialist.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
All right. Look at all the stimulus.
Look at all the. Oh, that one's bad. That one's.
And then what else we got? All right. This stimulates me. Yeah. Okay.
Jeez, I didn't realize there were so many of these memes. Austrian kind of liberty memes. Well, no, I suppose they're Campaign for Liberty. They'll post a lot of funny stuff. Yeah, well, that's what I always say about. I say move to North Korea. Like, I'll move to Somalia when the social democrats move to North Korea, or Cuba, or Greece. Greece is probably the best example, though.
Then we got.
Your mom was so status she broke her own windows to stimulate. All right, these are getting ridiculous. So you gotta have some element of. Okay, let's explain this meme. Well, let's try to explain why your mama is so status she broke her own windows to stimulate the economy. It's because in the Keynesian ideas, if you break windows, like you have to hire people to fix those windows, and that stimulates the economy. That's why World War II got us out of the Great Depression. But that's not how things work. You're not richer because your windows are broken. That's like wealth isn't GDP. Stats Canada's household debt versus the ratio of the household debt. Wealth is not having broken windows. It's having windows to begin with. Wealth is having the car. So, like, you're not stimulating jack all by breaking your own shit. But that's the Keynesian idea. So, think about the Great Depression was this serious, horrible time. And then it just got a whole lot worse in 1939 because all the young men who were roaming the country, jobless, probably coming up with great folk tunes. Now they were sent off to Europe to kill people and get killed themselves. Meanwhile, basic items, food and clothing were rationed because the government started allocating everything. The whole economy became a war economy. That's not getting out of the Depression. That's making things much, much worse. At least before the Depression, people were poor, but they were less status than they were during the war years when it was completely statism. Like, you got sent to jail for criticizing the government. Can you imagine getting sent to jail for criticizing all the shit in the Middle East, opposing ISIS and all that? But
It's fucking ridiculous.
that's so that's why that explains that's that meme that you don't break. Wealth isn't GDP. Wealth is not having broken windows. So there. Oh, right. The point of that lesson of the broken window. There's a whole history behind why the joke is in the window. Starts with Bastiat, but Henry Hazlitt made it famous. But the unseen thing is that there is the unseen is that there's unseen wealth. Like, so if she didn't break her own windows, the money she's using to fix that she could have used on going to the movies or buying some food, and that would have made herself rich and the other people that she's trading with. So that's the key to economics, really. You've got to look at what's not seen. You got to look at all the interest in the long run instead of just the short-term interest in the short run, which would be the guy who gets to fix her window. But your mom is so status, she broke her own windows. That's a good one, Luke. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had an educational moment, at least once.
Shall I proceed?
Yes. This is a good idea. Let's just keep doing this. Let's just explain jokes. Let's just beat the funny out of these jokes. All right, next one.
All right.
Paul Kruggan is tired of trying to reason with you. Oh, okay. I've never seen that movie. That's supposed to be George Clooney, right? Yeah. You should find it way funnier than I do. I don't know. I don't get it. It's the movie, right?
Pardon?
That's a movie, right? Yeah. Anyway, the next one. I was only trying to stimulate the Jewish economy. That one is dark. That is dark. You don't have to go to color. Listen, you might as well just put the color bars up and leave them there. Not actually. Yeah, no, you don't zoom in on that one. Let's just keep going. That's just the same principle I just explained, but good thing I didn't explain it through the Holocaust. That could have got never go full Krugman. No, never do it. That's the joke. Never go full retard from Tropic. I've been meaning to rewatch that movie. I only saw it like when it was out in theaters, then maybe once again. But I had a dream about it once, and that's weird to have a dream about a movie, like to be in a movie.
Huh. Do you remember The Simple Jack? That was the why you never go full retard.
Yeah, because Ben Stiller did a movie where he was a full retard, and then he's in blackface. The other actor, what's his face, is in blackface the whole movie.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Is that his name?
I wonder, that movie's a few years old. I wonder if you could get away with that now in today's PC culture, going blackface even when it's a joke.
That was good.
That is what I'm doing for Halloween next year. That is what I'm doing. No, my monitor went out. I don't know if the whole thing went out or if it's just the monitor.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you just did. That's why we went to black. the shadow thinks that's funny. If we just go to black, that's my blackface. People are probably thinking something went wrong.
Nice.
Well, Luke got it. Luke thought it was funny. Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to disable the color bar button on that screen. Or you know what? I'm going to change the clocks in your house. And I'm gonna tell you, oh no, we've switched the show over to Tuesday. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna keep doing this on Monday. I'm just yelling at the producer. All right, let's try another one. We got a few more. This is how we'll end every show. We'll just go through some memes.
Deal. Oh, let's just
give that man a bro. I've seen that before. That is kind of the best joke you keep going back to because it's familiar. Yeah. Everybody knows what a broken window is if you're in this kind of movement. So yeah, I wonder if you can make jokes about marginal utility.
I'm sure.
We need cricket sounds. That's what we need. We need a soundboard effect with crickets. So like at a moment like that.
Here we go. This is better. This kind of
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's actually stuff that he's been saying. This is summing up the things he actually believes. Like saving for the future, that's preposterous. Spend it now. That you see this all the time. Consumer spending is the heart of the economy. Saving is. You can't consume without producing something first, without saving. Of course, saving is the whole. You save something for a rainy day. That's where. But no, saving allows for that kind of capital accumulation. That's what's great about money. It's that it's so convertible into different things. So you save money, and later down on the road, you can use it for like anything that you want to spend on, or invest in, to make your business produce more for less cost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so go on to the next one. Oh wait, this one was good. Oh wait.
Break some fucking.
We're spending too much. Ha fooled you.
What? I didn't even see that. Yeah. Wow, fooled you.
Oh yeah, and this one you were just talking about saving for the future. That's preposterous. Spend it now.
Yeah, it's preposterous to hold that kind of view. Our grandparents didn't have that view. This is actually a relatively new idea. For all the things that are so fucked up in Western civilization that we've forgotten, that have been like 100 years at least since we've had that kind of system or society, saving is one thing that people living today know that's good. My grandfather, he can't save because he's one of these, living, on a fixed income, but, as the purchasing power of the money goes down, so it's getting harder and harder. But he realizes the importance of saving. He's still alive. There's still people out there that are alive that realize the importance of saving. The remnant. That's the other thing. Got to find the remnant. Ron Paul always talking about the remnant. What he means is, finding the kind of older generation that are classical liberals and getting them to come out and be like, come on, you got a bunch of young people on your side now. Let's fight the status.
I wonder how that's possible. We need like a recruitment of exactly. That'd be
lawyers.
So sick.
A lot of lawyers are fucked. A lot of lawyers are, the charter. But I think a lot of lawyers, especially ones that are outside the court system, because they know how bureaucratic it is, and it's easier for their clients to, arbitrate outside of the system, just come to an agreement. Those lawyers, and the lawyers that really love the history, and because really the British common law system is the kind of anarchy that we're looking for. Is that kind of empirical case for natural rights. So I think if we just remind lawyers of that, then people who love, I don't know, it's getting into different cultures. You get, you and Terry talking about music, and you're always talking about that parkour stuff. You jump off of buildings and shit, and do crazy handstands on ledges.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I guess those are kind of good cultures for you guys. But my kind of cultures would be just boring history or just going out to bars and convincing social justice warriors. There's so many of them here. No, that's it. That's key. Though, finding the remnant, kind of that Ron Paul strategy of finding the old classical liberals and the young people.
Yeah. All right. I'll switch on to the next one now.
Sure.
Oh, that's just the same old shit.
Oh, it's just okay. Well, that was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered a lot on today's show. We started with the road issue. That's always good. Why the road is also the immigration issue. We already summed up how we summed up the road thing, so that happened in today's episode. So now this is the third or fourth sum up of the original summing up of the roads. That makes sense. Like an inception of summing up halfway through. No, not making any sense at all. No. So I swear to God, I'm disabling. This is the last time I was seeing the color bars. Okay, it was funny, haha, and now it's just like at least turn off the monitor so I don't have to see this shit. I don't have to look at myself, talk, and see what's going out to the air. That's still on. Whatever. So I forget where we went after that. No, we did talk. We talked about Halloween candy. I still have my bookmarks. Okay, so yeah, one thing I was going to do. I don't think we have time to do this now. I should have done this right off the start. I'm going to do a provincial roundup. I was going to go province by province and highlight some major news that's happening there, and give it a critique. I don't think we have time to do that now because there's a lot of provinces, a lot of news, and my computer's pretty warm. It's not hot. I turned it off today. I'm starting to get this. I'm going to leave it on all night like this. Then I gotta turn it off in the daytime. But it is starting to warm up, so a lot of these tabs that are going to load up all the news from around the provinces. Wouldn't it be great if the provinces were like little countries? Would you settle for that, Luke? Luke the pirate?
No, I still can't. I won't stop until, it's...
Obviously, we can't stop until it's full-blown anarchy. But that definitely is... Would that be a better strategy? What's a better strategy? Trying to get a libertarian... Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Okay, no. That would be a better start, though. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, it's probably better than trying to work centrally with Ottawa to be more libertarian. Trying to get Ottawa to be more libertarian. Wouldn't it be better to get the provinces more libertarian and then just ignore Ottawa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it. Or to have cities separate. I'm all for that. City separation. See, that's the one nice thing. If we can fit a bunch of Chinese in here, and they don't have any kind of baggage about Canada or Canadian culture or any whatever, all that status bullshit, and then if we could just if they see they want to be free and they're escaping the Chinese communists, and we just convince them, oh yeah, being free is really having the country as small as possible, like Singapore. Maybe that's what we should do. We should bring in a lot of immigrants into Vancouver from Singapore, and then convince all the other people who are already living here that we really should be like a city-state. Sure, we'd still cooperate with Canada. Yeah, make us part of Canada. I guess there's going to be a bunch of constitutional stuff you need to do, and the Supreme Court will do this. But no, whatever. If the majority of people in the city are on board, it doesn't matter what happens. Yeah. Well, we always need a segment of Luke dancing. That's good. I don't think this show would be complete without Luke busting a move.
I got your picture of me and you. You wrote I love you.
Oh man.
I wrote me too.
I forgot my ashtray. I was so rushed coming in here. It was like 5 minutes late today. So I'll just kind of put it on the table and clean up the table later. Like that ever happens. No, this table gets clean. This is a clean table. Other tables that I own or rent are... Okay, it's on the color bars now because you're coming in here, right? Well, guess what, producer Shadow Man? You were already on the broadcast earlier. So there, you've been exposed to the internet. I finally did it.
Terry sent me a picture. I'm just putting it up right now. The one that he made.
You PC, bro? PC Prime Minister. Yeah, that was a good idea. That's funny.
Good one, Terry.
Yeah, nice one. If I could change the thumbnail, I should make that one the thumbnail instead of Ma Rhodes. Just change the name of this episode to PC Prime Minister. I'll probably get more views than Ma Rhodes. But then the whole continuity's fucked up. People are going to be tuning in, and I'm talking about roads. So maybe in brackets, I'll put PC private. Or maybe that will be the theme of next week's episode. Maybe I will try to get somebody, an actual guest, in-studio guest, and we can talk about social justice warrioring.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. I think it's cool as well. But, hey, I got some stuff finally loading up on the interwebs. TransCanada asked the U.S. to delay Keystone XL pipeline review. More stuff about that. Yay. So this is all in Edmonton, Alberta. News from Alberta. Oh, so did you know there's an Alberta separation organization? They're not like a... I'm pretty sure they're not a political party, but maybe they have some political status. But I know it's like just an organization that promotes the idea of Alberta being they call it like the Republic of Alberta. I reached out to like the head to come on the show. I haven't heard back yet, but he is definitely somebody I would want to talk to.
Who? Sorry,
I forget his name, but he heads the Alberta separation. I don't know, organization. I forget what they're called, but they're all about Alberta separating.
Huh? Right on.
Yeah,
he'd be, something interesting to talk to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's always him. And then, who else did I reach out to?
The disinfo guy, the Thad McCracken.
Oh yeah, well that's what I was talking about, the occult guy.
Yeah.
So I just got to find a good time. I haven't gotten back to him yet because I have to figure out what time I could rent the studio space. It's not mine.
Would it be cool if what's the main topic that you'd like to cover with him?
We will definitely plan that one out because I know you're really going to want to talk to him.
Yeah, and also like if we can have like one episode where we get two sides because he's primarily like for the whole like he believes that there's validity in this stuff, right?
There's what? Sorry?
Validity within like the teachings, right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe we can have someone who can also have like an opposing type of view, like have two like interviews or something like that. Because I know someone who would. I know he'd be. Well, I don't know he'd be up for an interview. I asked him for an interview before, and he said he'd be up for it, but not for this specific topic. But he's pretty much like out there against like the whole primacy of consciousness thought with the whole magic scene.
Ah, yeah, magic with a K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we could maybe have those two. I did mention it would be a debate, but to have 4 people on the show would be quite a step up from where we've been going. So that's good. Yeah, we'll definitely try to set something like that up.
Cool.
But okay. So there used to be a Western Separation Party in Canada. I think there still is, but the guy died. Like I think this past March. I'm pretty sure the whole Western Separation Party was pretty much one person. Kind of like the viewership of this show. How many people are actually in Canada and be like, yeah, you go. I agree with everything you say. No, there's like 3 or 4 people in the country that believe that. But so I guess this guy, he died, and I don't know who runs that party anymore. I'm not sure if they've been deregistered or what. So I'm still searching. There's not a lot of resources that I've come across yet. Not a big thing. The idea that Alberta or Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Yukon, BC, they should be their own country. Maybe Northwest Territories. I don't know. I'm not sure what Western, if the North is part of their West. I would consider Yukon part of the West, but Northwest Territories, none of it. They're like their own Northern Arctic part of the country. But yeah, I would consider the Yukon part of the West, the Northwest, the deep Northwest. You know, Americans consider Portland and Seattle to be the Northwest. That's cute. What is this? What's that noise? Gordon Lightfoot, Alberta bound. I suppose I should like Gordon Lightfoot because it's all Canadian kind of. Not really. Don't really like this type of music. Well, it's all right in the background, but I would never sit down and constantly listen to Gordon Lightfoot. Fucking Gordon Lightfoot. I don't like Tim Hortons coffee either. It's disgusting.
Tim Hortons coffee?
Yeah. They have a dark roast now, which is marginally bad. It's all fast food coffee. It's gross. But they were really bad for a little bit. And apparently it's because McDonald's outbid them on their bean supplier. Imagine that. So McDonald's coffee now is Tim Hortons old coffee. And that's why Tim Hortons coffee sucked for a really long time. Is because they lost their bean supplier, the McDonald's. And that's why McDonald's coffee all of a sudden got good. And they started promoting McCafe. It's because they're like, we got fucking Tim Hortons beans.
We're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows.
Is this Gordon Lightfoot too? No, this is Stop and Tom.
Jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores.
Hockey too. I hate hockey. I'd rather watch football or baseball, but hockey is so stupid. I can't even see the puck half the time. Like no, this is the worst Canadian show. I should tell people that. People are fucking tuning out now. They're like, I don't know, you had something with, driving while Asian, but you don't like hockey. Oh, I don't know. What are you? You know what? We should turn that off because I have a very strict rule about only having Captain Beefheart play on this show. This is a Beefheart. We get our Beefheart breaks. Yeah, listen to that. This is beautiful. You cut it out. They're at the best part.
Well, I told Pat about I was helping you out, and I was talking about the Beefheart, how you still listen to a lot of Beefheart, and that's the intermission music. He found it quite funny.
Oh yeah, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did like Beefheart. I made a whole Beefheart project back in college. Beefheart biography. It was the best one. Seriously, we had like the worst class. They'll let any Yahoo in the college these days. Getting a college degree is about as easy as getting a high school degree. You just have to show up. And so there's a bunch of morons in my class. And you could tell Pat was so frustrated because it was like, here's a project, do like a news clip, the kind of thing, or a short biography, just some kind of entertaining video that you put together and edited. It was so. Most people did like a stupid news thing where I then talk like this, and then it was like and the framing was all bad, the editing was shit, it was slow paced. My friend Aaron and I, who also loved Beefheart and still does, better. Him and I, we did a Captain Beefheart documentary, which wasn't entirely factual, but it was fast-paced, tons of B-roll. The interviews weren't like that. It was like quick cut, like, oh, no. Like, he loved it, and he just went on about how great it was, even though it made no sense. Which just goes to show you can make great television even when it makes no sense. As long as it's all flashy and cutty, you can just be spewing out garbage, and people will buy it. Not this show, obviously. We've got 2 camera angles and fucking bars going up every goddamn minute. Here we go, China Pig. But yeah, so that's great. Great to hear that Pat's still kicking around. Do you still hear me, Luke?
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to coordinate something for school. I'm going through a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh no, that's all right. If you have to go, you gotta go. It's all.
Oh no. It's just I had to respond to an email.
No, it's all good. Yeah. I keep trying to read the news here. There's no way we're getting through all these provinces. But fuck, I haven't even got through Alberta yet. And I probably should start with BC. Start with BC, and we'll go east. But it's hard to read while you're trying to talk as well. In fact, it's impossible. Well, maybe not impossible. Let's see. If I could talk while reading this, what I would be saying is useless, and what I'm reading is slow, and I really have to... No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's very hard to talk and read. Unless I want to read out loud. So Jack in the Box, Maple Leaf Foods, outbreaks could hold lessons for Chipotle. What is this about? Chipotle Mexican Grill is facing a public relations crisis after temporarily closing 43 stores because of the E. coli outbreak. Oh, that sucks. That reminds me. So King of Donair is suing Donair King because the name sounds too familiar.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What a crazy world we live in. And to make matters worse, Donair King, one of those two companies is like a local business in BC, and then the other one is like a franchise based out of Halifax. Like, does it really matter? If I open up a store called, McDonald's, like, does McDonald's, they're really going to sue me? Burger Thing. Somebody watching TV.
Nobody beats the Wiz is slashing prices on our entire stock.
What is that?
Nobody beats me because I'm the Wiz. Yes, I'm the Wiz. I'm the Wiz.
The Wiz. All right. You can do YouTube watching on your own time, or at least your own goddamn device that isn't connected to the rest of the fucking system. Oh man, I swear, I think this might have been a better show if I did it by myself. Just the one camera angle, ran into the control room, turned on Terry, ran back, sat down, and then did the interview, and then run back, and I never would have had color bars up, not even once. But fortunately, we are almost through. Luke, I was trying to wrap up everything we were going over today, and all I could remember were the roads issue. Have we covered anything? Have we not covered anything yet about roads? Is there something about roads we need to cover?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Well, roads were already around before government. There were private roads. I took a private road today. I was explaining over Beefheart at one point that, there's a sidewalk I'm supposed to walk down and make a big L shape, but instead I walk on the dirt path that kind of cuts across, the path of least distance. So every single day I'm on a private road. I guess that's a sidewalk.
If people want to learn more about it, like stuff about what would happen if we privatized the roads, I'd suggest looking at Walter Block's stuff. Walter Block does a lot of good
He has a whole book on it.
Yeah,
in fact,
exactly.
I once invited him to Vancouver to have a meet so people could all come and learn about how awesome private roads were and how it was going to change everything. And I had multiple speakers. And
Nice.
you know how many people showed up? Like 4.
How many?
And I knew 3 of them.
Oh, no.
But it just goes to show you how much people care about roads. Very little.
Man.
But it also goes to show you how Walter Block will show up to anything. As long as it's in Vancouver, just let him know you're doing something and he'll probably show up. I love Walter Block, man. That guy's awesome. And possibly, going a little senile, apparently. I know he's been in a big feud with somebody from the Fraser Institute or maybe they're not still with it, but it's way back in the day. It was about, the Fraser Institute does this study that measures how free a country is based on like social tolerance, but also economic freedom. You never heard of this? So yeah, it's this list of how free your country is based on, socially liberal and fiscally conservative, pretty much. That's Fraser Institute. But anyway, apparently this was Walter Block's idea, but other people have taken credit for it. So now he's in a big email feud, which is getting published on like Lou Rockwell and other places. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why are you publishing this? Why would you send an email like this? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just value difference, different preferences. Because I always try to just be as short as possible in my emails. And he's just like going on. And he's like, well, this was, it just sounds like a crazy old man. But he's probably right. I wouldn't put it past those freeloading Canadians, fucking Fraser Institute, to just take Walter Block's idea and, as their own. Because that's the thing. A lot of these, mathematician economists, they don't have a concept of liberty. They don't know what freedom is all about. They're just, economics to them is like a natural science. Where to us, economics is a value-free science. It's not all science is empirical. If you want to define science as empirical, then we need to let's call this knowledge. Then we won't call it science, truth, or call it knowledge. I don't know. The point is that not all. Oh fuck! What was the point, Luke? Back me up here. I was talking about.
Wait. Oh yeah, you're saying it. Okay, yeah. The Austrian. It's
the concept of freedom, right? Because Walter Block, mad at the Fraser Institute. Yeah, I cut you off, but you jogged my memory.
Nice.
Was that It's the freedom. It's the measuring how free your country is. That probably wouldn't even have dawned on these kind of mathematicical economists, but it did Walter Block, because that's the thing about Austrian economics is that once you understand the value-free science of just that deductive reasoning of economics, then the whole liberty thing kind of clicks. Like everybody believes in freedom to some degree because it's peace. That's what we're talking. That's the natural rights is always talking about like certain morals that must be objective for all human beings. The only really one you've got is peace. I can't think of anything else that would be a universal thing we can all agree on. Even property is a wishy-washy. Did you step on my property? I stepped on your property. But like whenever we get in conflicts about property, the solution is peace. That's the one thing everyone agrees on. We want a resolution. So to act in not peace, to act against peace, peacefully, would be unnatural to human beings. But then again, we were hunter-gatherers that were always stabbing and fighting each other, and we still do that to this day through war. So who knows? We can't get into this right now. I'm opening up a Pandora's box. Don't you know? This is like backsliding on anarchy. This is take down the Rothbard shrine, pull his face over, I need to go to a confession booth afterwards. An Austrian confession booth. Yeah, the producer, Shadowman, he wasn't here earlier talking about we were talking about making Rothbard into like a religious cult, like the Rothbard. We were going to get a shrine and light candles, and at the start of every episode, we like pray to him and like thank him for this episode, and we. Oh, man! Ever since I smoked from the bowl, my nose has got all like stuffy. I feel like I've been like on the brink of sneezing.
I'm trying to come up with hand signs that we can use as like Rothbard, like an R and a B. Yeah, so we can be like a gang, just like
Rothbard represent. Oh, I want to talk about this. So we were talking about Justin Trudeau earlier, and I just remember now. Remember he made that comment. This is something I probably should talk about Terry about, because Terry was he mentioned this how he was talking about Gamergate and how he's a feminist, but he also mentioned. Absentee fathers, and people thought he was alluding to black people, but which is a racist thing. Don't people see that as the racist thing to be like, a lot of people have absentee fathers? Are you talking about black people? It's like, no, I'm not talking about black people. Like you would think the person making that accusation, like that's the racist. Anyway, so the joke, there's some kind of joke with Justin Trudeau having an absentee father. Like, his dad's dead. Should he be part of this? Like, his dad's been dead. And his whole family's dead, too. Like, his brother, he's got 2 brothers that are dead. I know. Horrible stuff. His mom had a whole mental illness breakdown. I see the color bars. And so there's a dark, mean-spirited joke in there somewhere. But we'll save that for the next episode, because we're almost done here. Let's see here. Do you remember anything else we talked about? Just trying to sum up at the end of the episode here.
Yeah, Halloween. What else?
Just in case anyone missed anything.
Oh yeah, we already covered that on the roads. Yeah.
Roads. Whole episode the continuity there is roads. And we came up with the PCPM.
Simulation.
Yeah, the PCPM was a good idea. Whoever's idea that was.
PCM.
I think that was the key. Oh, then we had some funny memes. We should We should try to come up with our own memes. Maybe that would be homework for everybody, including me. In this classroom, the teacher also does the homework, unless I forget, and then I won't do it. But we should try to come up with some. I actually have to come up with funny memes. So if let's see how good you guys' memory are. If you're on Twitter following Mises Canada from like March, April, May 2014, I was running that Twitter account at that time, and I was just posting memes all the time. It was good fun. So I already have a bunch of memes out there. I'll go look them up. I'll see how many of them are funny. But yeah, that's old. I'm sure I have them saved somewhere. But yeah, for a while I was running the Mises Canada Twitter account, and all I would ever post was memes. Apparently Jeff Tucker complained too, because some of the stuff was kind of negative. I was kind of, it's hard not to be negative in a statist culture. But that fucking moron has embraced it. He has got so downhill since leaving the Mises Institute. And I hate to say that, because he was in Vancouver once. I drank with him. He's a fun guy to hang around. He's funny. He gave a really excellent speech. I guess you give speeches for so many years, and you get really good at it. But, like, what is this shit with the open torders and trying to divide up a political philosophy with the humanitarians, the brutalists.
Yeah, he made the distinction. The brutalists and the what's it called?
The humanitarian libertarians.
Yeah.
Where like the humanitarian libertarians are like very progressive and leftist on issues like the environment and immigration and PC. That's really what it is. It's kind of embracing PC as much as you can as a libertarian. And then then he divides the other ones into brutalists, which makes us all sound like just racists that want to build walls, and that's stupid. Because the point is the political philosophy. The whole point is that it's just non-aggression. That's it. That's all it has to say. The problem is that life is not that simple. Life is more than just a political philosophy. So if you want to look at the history, a libertarian society is by default going to be a conservative society. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to get pockets of, social liberalism somewhere, gay couples and, whatever. But for the most part, it's going to, just by the necessity of that's the system that works. Traditional family, mother, father, raising kids, no public schooling. That's where it all started to fall apart. And then it got even worse with central banking. But that's the family governance is the core.
Yes,
is the core of the whole political system here. Sorry?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I said the family unit.
So a libertarian society. It's not that we're forcing people to be more conservative. It's just that's what's going to win out is more conservative societies, because the more crazy progressive liberal like as a socialist liberal. The more crazy you get, the less family structure there is, the less economic calculation there is. It all falls apart. So that's the other thing too. Hans Hermann Hoppe got in trouble a long time ago when he was at the university in Las Vegas for speaking about. He used in that context say homosexuality is wrong in that context of a libertarian conservative society, and the reason he said that was because you can't physically produce more children by having sex with the same sex. It doesn't work. I don't even know how it would work with women. They would have to scissor or something. So anyway,
technology never mind.
Oh, well, no, just the whole biological, you can't physically produce more children. So that's why it's never really worked out for the longest time. It's socially acceptable now, but it's not, for the longest time, it wasn't socially acceptable. Just because, I guess, a lot of people were conservative. They're just weirded out by it. But also because it didn't work. What was the point? The point of the whole civilization was, get married and have kids and keep producing and being,
Keep this thing rolling. Yeah.
You can't have more. You can't do a guy up the butt and have more children. It just doesn't work. I don't know where that goes. I don't know if it all trickles out
in the future with test babies and shit. It's going to be different. Only need. Well, I have heard of. Well, I don't know. I'm not an authority on the subject, but I think in the future, they're talking about just taking different genes from both males or whatever, and artificially making an egg and growing a baby in a lab type of thing, right?
Yeah, well, just that is the opening scene to Brave New World. So there you go. We are in a mix of Brave New World and 1984.
Which would tie into the gentleman that I'd like to interview to get the counter side to the whole magic with a K. He covers stuff about that.
That ties in the Brave New World in 1984, the whole occult.
Oh yeah. He goes into like the MK Ultra stuff. He actually gets like Freedom of Information Act request documents, and he dissects the whole thing and its connections.
Jeez,
He's
yeah, we
really
should
good.
talk to this. What's this guy's name?
Jan Irvin.
Jan Irvin.
He was the one who he had that interview with David Harriman, the one that I sent you. He has Gnostic
does he
Media.
do Gnostic Media?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that guy. Okay.
He does a lot of good work.
Yeah, well, that's kind of odd that you have a Gnostic Media. That's the name of your thing, but you're all.
Well, it's because before he was more into like the psychedelic group, like the psychedelic scene, and then he did more research and found out how they're being used for social control and all that other shit. And yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to set this up and everything. This guy almost sounds like I want a separate show and separate interview with him. Even it would be fun to have them debate, but you would probably get enough debating out of this Thad guy.
Yeah, that's true.
But I feel there are areas of agreement because, like, as a magic dude, he's all against the materialism of our current like natural sciences, and like as Austrians, we recognize how bad it's gotten. Like, I went off on a tangent and I lost where I was going because I started thinking about this, which is this idea that everything needs to be empirically proved. That's basically like the notion for a lot of science out there these days. Like, I call it the Reddit community, that the kind of the internet, like the young people who aren't libertarians yet. There's a certain ideology they have, and part of it is this very materialistic outlook on life.
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of it comes to the burden of proof because you can speculate things and stuff like that, but you can't make like definitive
you
statement.
can't falsify the action axiom. So to them, if you can't falsify it, therefore not science. Any
Wait,
thoughts?
what? That doesn't.
Because that's the thing. All of economics is deductive logic. So, but like they're saying that logic must be tested by empiricalism. Like, that's basically it. If you can't falsify it, it's not science. In their minds.
Yeah.
Crickets. Well, no, that was a good cricket. That was a nice somber moment there. Nope, I swear if I see barcodes in the next. Well, you know what? This show's practically over. We've been on air for 3 hours now. It's getting past your bedtime there in Ontario, Luke.
Yeah,
I don't want you to miss any of your 10 o'clock shows.
News production in the morning.
Yes, this way, yeah. When I get lonesome, the wind begin to blow. But we can go off air now. Are we off air? Oh, no? Okay, well, we go off air. See you next week. We'll try to get that Thad guy or somebody on. That's Luke. I'm Caleb. That's Rothbard Network. Rothbard!
Hail Rothbard!
Who's afraid of the spirit with the
Stop going to the color bars.
Who's afraid of the
Not with the show ads. I put my foot down on that one. Don't go into the color bars in the show ads. Probably missed me finishing my drink. It was a big gulp.
How's that full of things? It ain't my fault. The thing's gone wrong.
All right. Yo, Caleb.